7-10. Games going on right now. Pirates up 3-0 on the Diamondbacks in Arizona. That one in the bottom of the fifth. Bottom of the fourth in San Diego. Marlins and Padres tied at 1 apiece. Games still to come later in the afternoon. Cardinals and Orioles, Reds, Royals, Rockies, Cubs, Blue Jays, and Rangers. Yankees and Angels, a couple of finals from today. The White Sox take out the Mets 9-4. It was the Guardians over the Dodgers 7-4. Tigers over the Giants 4-3. Brewers over the Red Sox in 10. That's 6-5 final. Twins shut out by the Rays 5-0, and the A's blow the lead, and they cough it up to the Astros 5-3.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Happy Wednesday to everybody out there on yet another beautiful day. It's warm, almost hot outside. How about that?
It is hot.
Yeah, I like it.
Stupidly wore a black shirt.
Attaboy.
Baking out there.
Yeah.
Just on the walk in.
You worked up a sweat walking from the parking lot to the building?
Yeah.
At least you put pants on. So.
At least what?
At least you put pants on. Yeah. We weren't sure about that last night. Don't leave me hanging. You said you would do that. Look at Dave.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You said what?
I said at least you put pants on because after Dylan Moore and Cal Raleigh last night, we weren't sure you had pants on.
Kind of creepy.
Okay. What did you say there? Don't leave me hanging? You said you wouldn't do that?
No, I said don't leave me hanging. You said you were going to do that last night.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
That was me that said that.
Oh.
I said, we'll get into that later. It's probably inappropriate, some of it, but it was
on air yesterday. I made another joke, the dad joke, and Dave was like, I'm just going to leave you hanging.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what, Mike? Why don't you take a break? Have just a stroll around the office, maybe, and come
I think I just need to leave early and go
start
outside.
Over.
Yeah.
I know what his whole thing is. He's thinking about his paddleboard.
Oh, yeah. He's focused on the end of this show.
He doesn't have a boat.
No, there's no boat.
Yeah.
That was his friend's boat.
So he has a paddleboard. So no, I would be thinking that too. Mike was showing me his paddleboard in there, and it's a good day for it, man.
He was showing you his paddleboard. Did he bring it into the office?
No, it was on the internet there. What'd you get at Costco?
Yeah.
Oh, you bought a new one?
No, same one. It's reliable.
Oh,
good old
okay.
trusty.
Just wanted to see what it looked like.
Costco paddleboard.
You've never seen it before?
I was giving him the Bob Stelton routine. I was like, "Well, what kind of paddle is it? Well, where is it? Is it
What's it made out
wood?
of?
How do you haul it there? Then how do you get in? How do you get out? How do you get off?
You were fascinated by the whole process.
Not really.
All right. Moving on. What a great game. What a nice bounce back. We talked about coming out of that road trip 6-4, which is great, but it didn't feel great based on the fact that you dropped 3 of 4 to the Astros. And it just, bummer way to end. And you get the Nationals who come to town, who aren't a great team, but they'd won 7 of 10 coming into this game.
Yeah.
So they're a team that certainly was playing better. And you're sending the rookie out there, Logan Evans, and he just puts on a show.
Now the 0-1 pitch, swinging a pop-up left field, down the line, on the run. Randy Arozarena onto the warning track, makes the catch. Braces himself against the rail of the wall that goes down the left field line, pops the ball into the crowd for a fan. Great running catch by Randy Arozarena on the pop-up by Lyle, and that will retire the side. 8 brilliant innings in the book for young Logan Evans.
How about Evans? 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts on 88 pitches. His efficiency was off the charts.
It was such perfect timing for that. I mean, all we've been doing is talking about, the rotation. Well, obviously offense is big, but I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to, they have a good problem to have right now. I mean, we're talking about whether or not they should have a 6-pitcher rotation. I mean, yeah, it's amazing that the Mariners, I don't know. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see with Logan Evans. I mean, this was really a good outing. It was a great show of what he can do, certainly on the upper end. But just, the question that's been looming over this team has been, what are they going to do when all of the contracts come due for their starting rotation, and where are they going to, how are they going to replace these guys? And now all of a sudden you're going, geez, I mean, maybe they make him into a long reliever, but I don't know if that's doing the right thing or not. But I feel like whatever decision they make, it's probably going to work, because it has worked out for a lot of pitchers here. And it's just amazing. It's almost like you just expect that kind of a performance from Mariner pitching. It's incredible.
Yeah, he was fantastic. It was obviously his best start of his career. It was, and it came on the heels of a not great start. He went 6 innings against the White Sox. He gave up 4 runs, 3 home runs in that game. He got touched up against the White Sox. So you're like, all right, well, how does he bounce back from that? How does he do? They're coming off a successful road trip, but the backside of it felt kind of bad. So, all right, how does he respond? And he just goes out there and deals. I mean, he was just so efficient. His pitch count, I kept looking at the screen going, is that right?
Yeah.
I think he was like in the 6th inning, and he was like at 43 pitches or 44 or something like that. I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, I think there was only, was it 2 innings or maybe 3 where
I think the last 2 he went like
digit
16 pitches or something like that is where the pitch count went up a little bit. But he was spectacular. Now, is he that guy game in, game out? Who knows? We'll find out. I mean, he's got, such little amount of experience under his belt, but to see him bounce back from his start previously, which wasn't great, and then the end of the road trip not feeling awesome the way it ended, for him to come out and do what he did was spectacular. And it was fun to watch, and he talked about it after the game, just talked about the outing and the support he got from the team.
It was cool. I mean, obviously having the support of my team is like something I'll never take for granted, and I felt like everybody came up to me and was super pumped up for me. I was definitely getting a little razzed on for not going out there for the 9th, but I mean, that's going to come with it. But they were all super proud of me, which was really cool.
He's funny because you realize how young you hear it in his voice. He's 23.
Right.
He'll be 24 actually in a few days. But young guy, he's kind of got that, like when we interviewed him out there at Edgar's, he's just kind of got that wide-eyed naivete. He's just not been exposed to much yet, and he's just embracing all of it. You can just see he's just sort of like, yeah, this is cool.
He's starting to realize I got the world on a string right now, man.
Right now he does.
Oh man, do you like his look? He's got the
glasses,
the mock turtleneck, long sleeve, and then it looks like a picture from like 25 years ago.
Yeah,
but yeah, he's got
Brian
the
Roland
glasses
Smith
going. Maybe. Did Brian Roland Smith wear the mock turtleneck?
He didn't do. I don't think so. He might have, but he had the glasses.
Yeah,
he would pitch with the glasses on.
Well, and he was just rolling along until KJ Wright came up there and hit a home run. Do you see that guy, James Wood? He must be like 6'6", but
6'7",
all legs.
6'7".
He had exactly the same body type as KJ Wright, but I mean that was it. He was just dealing and just looked very calm and relaxed. And it's funny, like you said. You hear him. I mean, he looks like a grown man out there. I mean, he's a big dude, but then, you hear him talk, and he's kind of like this wide-eyed kid. And the Nationals, I mean, we talked about the Chicago White Sox offense and how, they were, 28, 29, number 30 in almost every stat. And this is just an upgrade a little bit from there. This is like, the Nationals are like number 20, 21, whatever, as far as their offense goes, kind of, bottom third, or maybe a little bit better than that in certain categories. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was the kind of performance that I think would have gone over well with any offense that he's pitching against, because he was so efficient.
Yeah, he was dealing. He had command of all of his pitches. It was fun to watch. It was really cool. We'll talk more about that his outing, the game coming up. What do we expect from George Kirby? All of that. A lot of news to catch up on around baseball. We're going to get into all of that coming up next with Wyman and Bob. It's Seattle Sports on 710.
Home cooking. That's what I'm talking about. Some garlic fries, of course, some Moto pizza out in the pen. Man, so good. The first place Mariners return home with a bang.
Cal Raleigh with another home run.
Tonight, they go for 2 straight in Game 2 against the Nationals. Wyman and Bob take you up to pregame at 5:30. First pitch at 6:40 on the home of the Mariners and the race for the AL West. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and great news. This August, luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Yes, the hotel is finally opening. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience at snocasino.com. Breathtaking views of the Cascades in Snoqualmie Valley, an expanded non-smoking gaming floor, awesome destination spa, a 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yes, new food venues, restaurants as well. You can book at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest. It's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Progressive knows you've got enough to worry about in life.
Hi, it's your life again. Feel like another year is just slipping away? Yeah, remember all those New Year's resolutions you made? You still haven't finished the first book. Just 19 more to go. I mean, if we're being honest, it wasn't a very realistic goal. Have you ever considered that you intentionally self-sabotage? So what's that about?
So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-961-5544. 800-961-5544.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
They say teachers don't impact for a year, but for a lifetime. Hi, this is Rick Riz. Join WSECU, your local credit union, as we celebrate those who give so much with the Teacher of the Week program. Nominate a teacher you feel has changed a life in our community. Each week throughout the season, we'll honor one teacher with a $500 grant, courtesy of WSECU. Teachers are the real MVPs. Find out more and nominate a teacher at mynorthwest.com/teacher.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Spring is here, and I know you want to look and feel your best as you head into this new season. Are you tired of the roller coaster of losing weight just to see it all come back again? Maybe you've heard about the new drugs but are concerned with the possible side effects, or you're taking weight loss drugs but also want to learn how to change your lifestyle for long-lasting results. We can help you. We have a team of health coaches that can support you every step of the way. Schedule your free 15-minute, no-pressure phone consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here with Ryan Roland Smith.
Thanks, Mike. I've been hearing for about 2 years now how you did the Eastside Weight Loss Clinic plan, and you lost a ton of weight. So I decided to see what the program was all about, and I'm so glad I did. So far, I've lost 30 pounds, and my only regret is not starting sooner.
Join the thousands of people who've lost 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 60 days. It doesn't matter where you live. You can do our program in person in Kirkland or all remotely. Schedule your free phone consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Feeling lucky? Don't miss the Lucky Classic Collector Car Truck and Boat Auction, Saturday, May 31st at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Event Center. Hundreds of cars, vintage, muscle, exotic, classics, trucks, boats, and more. Saturday, May 31st at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Event Center. Millions of dollars in inventory, many must sell with no reserve whatsoever. Get lucky, get local, and get in line for the Northwest's greatest collector car auction. Auction details at luckyoldcar.com.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up in the show today, Mark Schlereth is going to make an appearance with us at 2:30. That's always can't miss radio. Never want to miss Stink. He's going to join us at 2:30. Make sure you tune in for that. Daniel Kramer, Mariners beat writer for MLB.com, will join us at 4:30, and the one, the only John Morosi at 5 p.m. So a lot coming your way. Stay tuned for all of it. Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. Let's take two.
Yeah, so tonight will be George Kirby's first home start since September 15th of last season. He did really well in that one. Went 7 one-hit innings against the Rangers. Nationals lineup not yet out. Pretty interesting last night. They went all lefties against Logan Evans, 7 left-handed hitters, and then 2 switch hitters. So he faced 9 lefties the entire time. The Mariners are facing a righty, so their kind of right-handed lineup is out. So you have Rowdy Tellez back in there. Jorge Polanco batting second and DHing. Miles Mastrobuoni's back at second. He's batting 8th. And Ben Williamson still down there batting 9th, the third baseman.
Yeah, he came up with a couple of base knocks last night, so good for him. Ben Williamson, I'm talking about. It was a big night for the offense. You only had like 3. Everybody had at least 1 hit last night, except for 3 guys. It was Rosarena, Garver, and Taveras.
Taveras,
By the way, Taveras is a good defensive player, man. That guy covers a lot of ground, and he does it gracefully.
He does. He's super athletic.
You just watch him. Man. He's very sure in his path to the ball. You just defensively, you can tell he's a center fielder. Like he reads the ball well. He covers ground well. He takes good, nice routes. If we can get the bat going, bonus.
Yeah, but I mean, he just has looked as smooth as possible. How about that debacle that they had with the pop-up in between second and center? I mean,
that the infielder botched that.
Yeah,
that's
center fielder calls him off, right?
Well, yeah, and you're also coming in on a ball versus trying to catch it over your shoulder, which is really hard to do. I guess that's why they're a losing team.
Well, the Astros, Bobby mentioned to start the show, they scored 3 runs in the 7th. They beat the A's today, 5-3. They swept the series. It was just a 2-game series. So for now, just a game back behind the Mariners in the AL West.
The A's couldn't do the Mariners a solid and just take one of these 2 games. You had the lead. The bullpen comes in and coughs it up. Then I was looking at the box. They got just drilled last night. It was 11-1. Which we'll talk about in a moment, but I'm looking for some space between the Mariners and the Astros.
Well, and it just kind of just a little bit rains on your parade of last night.
Yeah,
with the big win.
Yeah, the Mariners look great pitching. Their offense looked great. They get the much needed win. It would have been great if the A's showed up to that game. They did not. Talk about that in a moment. But Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. So other things going on around the league. Astros beat the A's last night 11-1. In that game, Jose Altuve goes 4 for 4 with 2 home runs. I feel like the Mariners cured whatever was ailing him because we talked about this, he was having a brutal month until the Mariners series. And then he goes nuts in that series, carries it over into the first game against the A's, and I just want this team to go away. I want him to continue to struggle, and they're losing pitchers left and right, yet they're just hanging around. They're hanging around.
He's clearly motivated by one Bob Stelton, who does radio in Seattle, and that's why he likes to pour it on.
He said, I'm a little creep, huh? I'll show you.
Yeah. 4 hits, 2 hits, 1 hit, 3 hits, 2 hits. He's just on fire right now.
Yeah. I think he actually went 0 for today, but apparently they didn't need him because they won anyway. But it's just, I'm leery of this team. You had a 10-game lead last year. The Astros look like, all right, they're finally not the Astros. It's not their year. And then what happened? So as much as they are struggling with injuries, and one of their starters, Ronel Blanco, is now out for the year. He's going to have to undergo Tommy John surgery. So they've been, just beset by injuries, yet they're much like the Mariners, finding ways around it, finding ways to win games despite not being at full strength.
It's an amazing lineup that they have, got to say. I mean, look at Jeremy Pena. Is
nice player.
Fantastic, man. He was 2 for 5 today, scored a couple runs, 2 RBIs, hit a home run.
Yeah, him and Isak Paredes are 2 guys I wouldn't mind having in the Mariner uniform.
You talked a lot about Paredes last year. Was he with Tampa then?
He was with Tampa, then went to Chicago and didn't do much there. He didn't put on a show or anything, but man, he has come to life with the Astros, unfortunately. So, yeah, I mean, I just want as big a gap as we can get between the Mariners and that team, because they're like Michael Myers. They're like Jason. They just keep coming back to life. You think they're dead? No, they're not dead.
I just remember watching that after the 10-game lead, and then just seeing them have performances like this where you're like, here they come. My gosh. So, they're 29-25, 19-10 at home, and just putting up huge numbers, and especially Altuve. He is really a fine ball player.
He is. He's a good ball player, Dave. I know you love him. I know you don't want to hate him. You don't.
I don't. I got to appreciate the little guys. I got to say that. But
every time I appreciate little guy, you're not a little guy.
Well,
It's not like you can relate.
I just feel like, a lot of times, like in high school and stuff, I was able to use my size to my advantage, and those guys don't have that. They don't have the overpowering. I mean, you look at the difference between him and Judge. I mean, just ridiculous. I mean, Judge is a monster.
He's 6'7".
Yeah.
Yeah. He looks like Frankenstein next to a little child.
Yeah. Remember they had that there was that picture where I think Judge was standing on second base, so he's like
made him even taller.
Looked like he was 7 feet tall, and then
there's little Altuve.
There's little Jose.
Yeah, good for him. Hey, make sure to catch all the excitement on this Mariners homestand. First 10,000 fans tonight and Thursday. You're going to receive a Randy Arozarena bobblehead. And don't miss the first fireworks night of the season with a special K-pop fireworks show on Friday night. For more info, just go to mariners.com/tickets. Meanwhile, what does the national media really think about the Seahawks offseason? We know we can get the honest truth from this guy. He doesn't pull any punches. The one, the only Mark Schlereth is going to join us next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
The bar is set a little higher than it used to be. What's been most impressive to me this whole year is just how they've been playing on the road this year. Second most wins in MLB. And you're winning in ways that we did not expect. But Dan has said it. You said it. I heard Jerry say it the other day as well. They win in multiple ways. And if you want to be a good baseball team, that's what you have to do.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafee, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. At Pella Windows and Doors, we pride ourselves on delivering top-quality windows and doors that enhance the beauty and energy efficiency of your home. Our products are built to last with innovative designs and exceptional craftsmanship. Whether you're looking to upgrade your windows or install new doors, Pella has you covered.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
If you've ever wondered if there's something after death, Tyler Henry proves the answer is yes.
Be part of his live audience readings and his jaw-dropping ability to connect with the departed at Muckleshoot Event Center, Thursday, July 10th and Friday, July 11th at 8 p.m. Experience this evening of hope and healing, bringing peace and closure to loved ones. Tyler Henry proves our loved ones never leave us. Get tickets at muckleshootcasino.com.
Muckleshoot. Upgrade your home cooling before the summer heat with Home Comfort Alliance and save up to $6,000 while taking 18 months to pay with zero interest. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com. That's HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Headed to the ballpark? Skip the traffic jams, parking fees, and the stress of driving. Make riding transit part of your game day ritual. Roll in with your crew, talk stats, and meet fans. No traffic, no stress. Community Transit riders enjoy seamless connections to light rail and ferries to get to Seattle and beyond. And youth 18 and under ride the bus for free. All in for the win. Plan your trip with Community Transit at ctgo.org/homerun.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Guys, I'll never forget the first time I saw somebody get results at our clinic. He was an 81-year-old man who hadn't been intimate with his wife in over 8 years. Viagra had stopped working for him, and he was desperate for help. After several treatments, he walked into my office and told me he couldn't believe the results. Needless to say, this was a very happy man. This man made me a believer in what we do. He had taken pills for years, but he had never fixed the problem. When he came to us, we fixed the problem. Our treatment does what no pill can do. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. Change your life today, like the thousands of men who already have.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Warm Beats and Black Diamond Christian Camps remind parents to enroll your kids in a positive youth program. Sports, hobbies, and community activities improve overall health and performance in school. These programs decrease drug use and violence and develop self-discipline and leadership skills. Let's team together this year to help our kids reach their full potential. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Warm Beats and Black Diamond Christian Camps, Washington's premier camp, conference, and retreat facilities. Online at warmbeats.com and blackdiamond.org.
Get rid of stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin with ProSculpt, the simple one-day permanent fat reduction and skin tightening treatment. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com.
When the heat's in 11, cool AC would be heaven.
Dayandnight.net.
Beat the rush. Act now before summer, because that heat's a real bummer.
Dayandnight.net.
Even though our Northwest summers can be spectacular, there's always a long, hot stretch that makes everyone say, man, AC sure would be nice. Well, except for that one annoying friend who won't stop talking about how great his AC is. Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. You can stay comfortably cool when those hot temps arrive. This is the time to plan ahead and call us about installing a high-efficiency AC or heat pump. Or if you have an existing system, we'll come and service it. Make sure it's running efficiently and ready to cool when you need it.
Before the summer heat wave, keep your house cool and safe.
Dayandnight.net.
Make sure your AC will keep you cool when the summer heat gets here. Save $50 on a pre-summer AC tune-up. When the heat's at 11, stay cool with Day and Night.
Dayandnight.net.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. we can help.
That's PenderGasLaw.com.
Blue 80, blue 80, set up. And I snap the ball, and there's just this horrific splash.
It's time to join the stink tank.
The analytics people that I hate your guys. They don't play football, they play quarterback. I'd be the easiest guy in the world to kidnap.
Mark Schlereth. Every Tuesday with Wyman and Bob.
Oh, it's always a treat when we're able to get this guy on the show with us. You know him, you love him during the football season, and he's graciously agreed to join us outside of the football season. He's with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Look at him if you're watching the video.
Oh, has he got
trying
the
to get
mustache
trying to get that camera straightened out.
I'm trying to get. Yeah, it's rough. It is rough, but you know what? We're gonna make it work one way or another.
Mark Schlereth is with us. For those that are not watching on the video stream, how are you, man? It's good to see you.
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
We're good. We're good. We needed an expert outside voice because Dave and I played some cuts from people yesterday, read a couple of blurbs written about the Seahawks from national voices. And they all seem to point to the fact that they believe the Seahawks took a step back, that they're one of the teams that didn't improve in the offseason. And they're looking at, well, Geno's better than Sam Darnold, and DK and Tyler and JSN are better than Cooper Kupp and Marquez Valdez-Scantling and JSN, and the new coordinator's not going to fix everything. It was just kind of an overwhelming sentiment that, yeah, they're not going to be very good. What is your opinion from the outside?
Well, I mean, Sam Darnold was absolutely unbelievable last year, right? Like 4,400 yards. He had a bunch of touchdowns. I mean, he was great. And of course, everybody points to the last two games of the season where they didn't play as well. But Sam Darnold had a phenomenal all-pro type season. So, I mean, that's number one. And do I think that Sam Darnold and Geno Smith, or Sam Darnold's better or worse than Geno Smith? I think they're very like quarterbacks. So, like, I wouldn't look at that and say, wow, we really downgraded the quarterback position. And then ultimately, offensive line-wise, philosophy of offensive line and philosophy of run game and philosophy of tying the run game to the passing game, those things are important. And I will tell you this with Cooper Kupp, you know, everybody talks about the injury stuff, and that's legitimate, you know, missing some time. But Cooper Kupp is one of the great, not good, but great wide receivers in this league from the standpoint of having duality, really being involved in the run game and what he gives you. And I think I don't know if I've told you guys this or not, but back in Los Angeles, they developed a package. They used to call it 11.5 personnel. And that's with one tight end, and that's with Cooper Kupp. And the reason that they called 11.5 personnel is because all they ran out of that was their 12 personnel, two tights package. And so you're getting to a two tights package, you're going to get some type of heavy personnel, some type of big, you know, base personnel where you have extra linebackers in. But Cooper Kupp is so diligent and so good on the edge in the run game. He blocks things in combination with tight ends, in combinations with tackles, you know, tray blocks with a tackle up to the force, where he is like having an extra tight end. So it was a real advantage in their run game and what they were able to do. So you couple that with this new offense with Kubiak, like those things to me are really big time, like feathers in the cap or check marks in the plus for the Seahawks.
Well, and one of the analysts, Mark Kapadia, who used to work here, great guy, everything. It's not like he's out to screw the Seahawks or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But, you know, he was talking about how the Seahawks are the only team that lost a top 10 quarterback. Because, you know, we were trying to figure out, okay, well, are we drinking the Kool-Aid here or are we too close to it? But he's right, and I guess from the outside, and I'm not sure how you see it, but, you know, Geno got nothing but crapped on last year here locally. Everybody was nitpicking everything, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, you lost a top 10 quarterback. So I don't know, how did you view him moving on? Him and DK both, they obviously didn't want to be here.
Yeah, well, that's obvious. And Geno Smith, like I'm a bigger fan than most in the national media of Geno Smith. I wouldn't necessarily put him in the top 10 of my list of top 10 quarterbacks, which consists of about 14 guys. So I wouldn't probably put him in my list of top 10, but I think he's a very good quarterback. Listen, man, I get that. I get that people get nervous, right? And I get that you see name value talent. I'll tell you a story. Last year in Denver, I'm doing my local radio show in Denver, and there are all kinds of people like that were talking about the Denver Broncos from a national media standpoint, right? And they talked about like they were doing rating each roster, and they had the Broncos rated anywhere from like 29 to 31 in all these different national publications. And it kind of irked me. And so I'm on the radio and I'm on television here back in New York saying, just because you don't recognize the names nationally doesn't mean that these guys can't play. And it really irritated me, right? So I think there's that aspect of it's name value. You've lost some name value, but how efficient, how productive was that name value? And and to me, especially on the offensive side of the ball, like the execution of scheme and knowing what you run. Like when I talk to different teams, and I've talked to a lot of them and consulted with a lot of different teams, there's value. There's value in knowing exactly what you guys are, what your identity is. And one of the best things about playing in Denver for Mike Shanahan is when we would get into situational football, we get into the red zone, we get on the goal line, especially in second down and short and third down and short. I knew in second down and short, we're not throwing a bomb to see if we can take advantage of the defense, right? We were a conversion team, and there was 3 plays that were coming in. There was 18-19 handoff, there was 14-15 handoff, or there was quarterback sneak. And it was 100%. And then it came down to, the 10,000 hour rule or 10,000 play rule. I've run this 10,000 times. You've defended 100 times. I'm better than you. I'm going to whip your ass. And so there's value in understanding what you are as an offense. And obviously last year, you're putting in a brand new offense, right? There's no continuity within that offense. You're using a collegiate coach to implement an NFL, to implement an offense in the NFL. And there are a lot of things that don't translate from the college game to the professional game. It's interesting. Cliff Kingsbury had a great year as the offensive coordinator last year for Washington. And everybody wants to point to Jaden Daniels and all those things. But talking to Cliff Kingsbury, he'll sit there and he will tell you, man, there were so many things I did not understand coming out of college about attacking and controlling the middle of the football field in the NFL because it's not the way it's designed in college. And so he was like, I really did not know how to use my tight ends properly because we were mostly a 4 wide receiver base in the college game. And there's a lot of that goes on in the college game, and really understanding how vital that those hash marks make the middle of the field and being able to control and own the middle of the field. Those things that's absolutely paramount in having a successful offense in the NFL. And so you get people with experience coming to Seattle that understand that aspect of the game.
How much better, and I'm sure it's unique to each coach, but the fact that Mike Macdonald now has a year under his belt and he understands what goes into an NFL season as a head coach. It felt like Dave and I would talk about it before. It felt like when he got hired, it was a little later. And when they added Ryan Grubb, it was even a little later. It felt like they were cramming for a test to get ready for the season and the draft, and everything felt rushed.
Yeah.
Now he's got the full complement of the offseason. He knows what he's in store for. How much of an impact do you think that makes, if any, in your mind?
I think it's huge. I think like you don't know what you don't know until you kind of stub your toe along the way, right? And that's how you learn. I started this TV show I don't know how many months ago in August or beginning of September, and they asked me to host it. I'll be honest with you, I've never hosted anything. I was a train wreck early. I mean, an absolute train wreck.
I'm sure that it was not that bad.
No, it was bad, and thankfully nobody watches us, so nobody really knew how bad I was. But the point being is you learn the rhythm of it. You learn, and the other thing that I would tend to lose is I was so concerned about getting us to where we needed to go and listening to the producers and doing all those things that you lose your personality during it.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
And so your ability to maintain your personality to be in relationship with the guys that you do the TV show with, to listen to the producer and get us where we need to go. That was for me a huge learning curve. And it took me a long time rewriting scripts and changing the way the scripts are on the page that fit my eyes and the learning disabilities I had growing up and all those things, man. It was unbelievable. And where I am now compared to where I was in August when I started this thing, it's night and day. But I would have never experienced that until I went through it. And so for a head coach, there are so many things that you implement, so many things that you do that when you look back on it, you're like, wow, I really screwed that up. And man, I wish I had that playback. And that's not going to happen to me again. So I think year 2 is where, you really start to feel comfortable in implementing what you want to do, who you want to be. And obviously that's why they made the changes they made from a coaching staff standpoint and everything else.
Yeah, there's starting to be some stories that are sort of filtering out, and that a lot of the players, I don't know that it was necessarily personal, but that a lot of the players didn't really care for grub. I think he might have rubbed some people the wrong way or whatever. I mean, look, I thought, he was doing his best, right? But yeah, I'm just curious about that. And then Cliff Kubiak. I feel like that guy, he's a really good teacher, and, he has a system that's proven and everything. And, so to me, I mean, if on one hand, naturally you go, okay, well, they got a brand new coach and they got 2 offensive coordinators in 2 years, but I don't know, it seems like a proven system. And, with Kubiak and, that's kind of the Shanahan tree and everything. I don't see why they shouldn't hit the ground running just because it's such a widely run offense.
Yeah, and Clint has done such a great job. Go back to his Minnesota time. With with the Vikings, and you look at at all that he has done there, and then he was in New Orleans and doing that, and so he's worked with a bunch of different quarterbacks, obviously. And so all those things, are true. And then the system, you really understand the system. The system. You have all the answers. And I think for a lot of NFL players, I know myself, this is the way it was for me, man. I wanted to know what the rule was, right? I want to know what the answer in the rule was. If I get this is the call I make, and this is how we deal with this blitz or this, zone dog or whatever it is, right? And I want to know those rules, and I want to have somebody who really understands that and is not making it up on the fly, that there is a tried and true way to pick this up and to block these things, right? And so, you've gone through a system and you've implemented a system, and, you've had Kirk Cousins and had success with Kirk, and you've gone around and you've done this. Now you really know you've got a bunch of coaches that are on your staff that really understand and are connected together. But the thing I love about Clint and about some of the guys on his staff that I know really well, they're also not a coaching staff that's basically telling players, hey, this is just the way it is. Like, if there's a better way to invent the wheel, if there's a better way to do something and you've got a great idea, or you're something that you're not comfortable with, man, they're great from a listening standpoint and going, okay, that makes sense to me. Let's implement it or do it a different way. And that goes back to Kubiak, it goes back to Clint's father, Gary Kubiak, Mike Shanahan, always really good about listening to players and understanding what the players are trying to understand, what the players are going through, and then creating, taking that system and maybe tweaking certain things based upon quarterback's eyes or what he feels or anybody within that system.
Mark, when you look at this division, who's the team to beat in your mind? Just, the 49ers had a down year, but they had a ton of injuries. Assuming everybody's healthy, how does it stack up for you?
I would still look at the 49ers. I think the Rams are still really good, obviously, with Stafford and all that, and and the additions they've made. But I still think the 49ers are really good. A lot of people, are concerned or maybe don't believe in Brock Purdy, but I'm a Brock Purdy believer. I think the guy is unbelievable from the neck up, the way he reads through progressions, get the ball out of his hands, all those things. They've got to be healthy. The running back position, Christian McCaffrey's got to be healthy. It wasn't just Christian McCaffrey, man. They lost their backup to the backup, the backup to the backup to the backup. Like they lost all their running backs. And the wide receivers. The other thing, there was some tension there. The Debo thing, obviously the fighting on the sidelines, some of the infighting, that stuff wasn't great. And very much like Seattle, I had an opportunity to do a couple San Francisco games late, and looking at some of the young talent that developed, why injuries happen. Hufunga's out, right? You've got all the linebacker Greenlaw was out, and then when Debo was hurt a couple times, Ayuk is out. They had Jennings came in at the wide receiver position. That dude was phenomenal. And so, like, they discovered that they've got a lot of really good players. Ricky Pearsall, the kid they drafted in the first round, got shot, was out for the beginning of the season. That dude came on toward the end of the season, was actually really good. So I think, again, very much like Seattle, there's a lot of players that are really good on that roster that you just haven't heard of yet. And they're going to get an opportunity this year and this season to prove themselves.
How do you think Gino will do with Pete there in Vegas with the Raiders? I know that they had kept in touch and everything, and just
right.
Pete just has this great personality where no matter how he left or if he did something you didn't like, whatever, everybody loves Pete. Right.
Yeah.
And so, it was kind of an interesting relationship that him and Gino had, during the season. It sounded like they were talking, but what do you think about that combination?
I think it's great. I mean, first and foremost, like just advice. Like the best thing you can do for your kids is to believe in them, right? And to give them opportunities, and to kind of nurture them. And Pete has that relationship with a lot of players, as you know, Dave. He's very much that way. But Pete, every time I talk to Pete doing games, when Gino was the quarterback, man, effusive in his praise. He couldn't say enough good things about Gino, and not just in the meetings with the production crew. I always would talk to Pete, 8, 10, 15 minutes on the field before the game. And he couldn't have been any more affectionate towards Gino as a quarterback and his skill set and his intelligence and what he does with the football. And then, Pete wants to get back in the time machine and turn it into 90s football. And I'm okay with that because I think it works. He's going to run the ball. He wants to control the line of scrimmage. Gino's okay with that, right? He's okay handing it off. They want to shorten the game as much as possible and get it into the fourth quarter and win a one-score game. And that's how Pete operates. And I think there's a ton of value in that type of coaching. And I think Pete's phenomenal that way. And I know one thing, man, he truly believes that Gino is an elite level quarterback.
When you guys were talking, did you ever walk away and go, did we just become best friends?
Yes, and then the next time I walked into town, it was like he didn't know who I was. Like he's like, "Hey, guy, yeah,
hey, Mike,
yeah.
Mick."
Right.
I remember you telling
there were
that
so
story.
many times. There was so many times that I was like, Pete and I just connected. He's probably going to give me his phone number, and we're going to be in touch. And then I walk in the very next week, and it was like literally he did not know who I was. I was like, this dude. I mean, it was insane to me. But he's always been very gracious. So he just sometimes he just forgets who I am.
He's got a lot on his mind.
Yeah.
He's going to give me his phone number.
Yeah.
Hey, who's going to be the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers? Is it going to be Aaron Rodgers? Is he going to come to a decision at some point? I know Terry Bradshaw had some kind of funny comments about the whole thing, saying, good riddance, they don't need him. What are you doing? What do you think? I mean, is he the guy they should be going after? How much better are they going to be with a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers? Are you surprised it hasn't happened to this point?
Well, I think it probably behind the scenes has already happened. I think, I and I don't have any inside information, but I would just say, reading the tea leaves, he probably has a playbook. He's probably in good with Arthur Smith, their coordinator right now. They're probably going through things as we speak. He's just not, he's just busy trolling different NFL franchises and everybody in America right now. So I feel like that deal is done. Based upon who they have playing quarterback right now, yeah, he's a significant upgrade. And I tell you, I did a Jets game late last year. And so when I dug into the film, like, because you saw the games on TV, you saw from London him, throwing pick sixes and not looking very good. And so then I dig into the film with the Jets, and it was borderline embarrassing how poorly coached they were. From a schematic standpoint, especially in the run game, they did things that blew my mind from the standpoint of you cannot do that. Like it was, for me, it was like elementary football and some of the things they were doing. And it just was like, it made no sense. And, and then sitting down with Aaron, we probably talked 30 minutes just on the run game alone. The guy is from a football standpoint, the guy is brilliant. Like, he really understands every aspect of the game. And then as I'm digging through the film, man, the dude was actually playing really well, and he had an ankle injury early and a knee injury early, and he was really limited with his ability to move around. But it was funny watching, even on Sunday, watching him warm up, and his knowledge is supreme, but his arm talent, I'm watching him versus a bunch of 25-year-old quarterbacks, right, that are playing professional football warm up, and it's not close. Like the way he lets go, the way he throws the ball, it was like one of those things, like put a tie on the doorknob. I'm watching Aaron Rodgers throw. It's freaking awesome. And so the guy can still sling it. His knowledge is supreme. And I just think he was really not very healthy the first 7-8 weeks of the season. And then he was incredibly frustrated because that coaching staff was incompetent for the Jets, just flat incompetent. So was the organization.
Yeah. You got what you wanted out of this, didn't you? We're laughing at your stupid jokes.
That was a good one.
I know.
That was very subtle. He just delivers it very subtly. He just keeps going.
Hadn't heard that one from Schlereth. Hey, before the draft, real quick, I stopped into at the front desk with the Seahawks and the gal sitting there, Bailey. I went up and asked her. I'm like, hey, do you have people like sending you things? And she's like, oh yeah, we have people calling in and telling us who to draft, and then sending ideas about what you should do offensively and which guys you should take and everything. You're a recognizable guy. Do you ever get anybody coming up to you talking about, trying to tell you about scheme or, this player or that player? Or
yeah, you follow him on Twitter.
Yeah, I get that. I get that occasionally. But while you were over there at the Seahawks, did you eat in their players' cafeteria? The food is delicious.
No,
I
wasn't allowed up there for some reason.
You were invited up
Yeah.
there. You should go up there. You should try to get a pass.
Tell him you know Mark.
He was there for 2 days. He had his own parking pass.
He had his own locker.
Everything, access to everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was interesting. Yeah. No, we actually did get food there, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah, they do. They do nice work.
They've got a great cafeteria up there in Seattle.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Like, that's the biggest part about calling games on Sunday for Fox is traveling around to each facility and kind of grading the food.
Yeah.
And the Seahawks are right up there. That's class organization.
Are you going to be coming out for training camp this year?
Not unless somebody calls me and asks me, I suppose. But I haven't gotten any phone calls.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know Michael McDonald, so I don't. He and I are not. We're not. This Michael McDonald. He and I are like this.
Yeah.
And this is me over here.
Okay.
I'm over.
You're the
I'm over
thumb.
here. Yeah. When we cross our fingers, I'm the thumb on the side, just looking in, going, "Hello, what's going on out there?" Yeah.
Well, hopefully he'll put that call in and get you out there. You guys can spark up a friendship.
That's right. And
Yeah.
we can torment Dave, which would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I would love that.
Mark, we always appreciate you, my friend. Thanks so much for joining us. As always, stay safe out there in New York. Looks lovely behind you, and keep up the great work, man.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Appreciate you.
Thanks, buddy.
There you go. Mark Schlereth, everybody. Always great stuff with him. Put a tie on the doorknob. I'm watching Aaron throw.
That was... I mean, that was a pretty ringing endorsement from him. I mean, he can be pretty critical of quarterbacks, and I think even when Elway was in the huddle, he would, give him crap or, say
in
something
the huddle,
to
he would?
him. Yeah, I mean, just kind of a smart-ass way. I think everybody respected Elway, but, as far as his, grading quarterbacks, he's pretty tough on people, and so to hear that's kind of gives you a new perspective.
It's a new one,
Rodgers.
Yeah. All right. Our thanks to Mark Schlereth. If you guys just tuned in, didn't catch all of that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, the Mariners put together one of the most complete wins of the season last night. We're going to get into more of that detail coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Home cooking. That's what I'm talking about. Some garlic fries, of course, some Moto pizza out in the pen. Man, so good. The first place Mariners return home with a bang.
Cal Raleigh with another home run.
Tonight, they go for 2 straight in Game 2 against the Nationals. Wyman and Bob take you up to pregame at 5:30. First pitch at 6:40 on the home of the Mariners and the race for the AL West. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and great news this August. Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Yes, the hotel is finally opening. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience at snocasino.com. Breathtaking views of the Cascades in Snoqualmie Valley, an expanded non-smoking gaming floor, awesome destination spa, a 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yes, new food venues, restaurants as well. You can book at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest. It's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
I've always been an athletic guy, but after turning 40, I noticed I was slowing down. I booked a free testosterone check with Revive Health and learned that low T doesn't just impact my performance in the bedroom. I've been following a custom treatment plan ever since, and today I'm feeling stronger and more confident than ever.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, text BOOST to 65555 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to schedule your appointment. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help. Text stop to cancel. See privacy policy at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy For info on how opt-in info will be used and terms and conditions at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of short code service.
This is Jill Schlesinger. May is Military Appreciation Month, and I know how much I appreciate the military. I married into a military family. I hear from so many members of the military, and Navy Federal Credit Union wants us to celebrate those who go above and beyond for us every day. If you're active duty, a veteran, or part of a military family, you're eligible to join. At Navy Federal Credit Union, the members are the mission. Learn more at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-961-5544. 800-961-5544.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening.
It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Progressive Home Quote Explorer lets you easily compare rates, so shopping for insurance might be the easiest part of owning a home. Definitely easier than this.
Psst, honey. Honey! What? Shh, there's a salesman walking up the driveway.
Oh no, he's got a clipboard.
What do we do?
Get down.
Down?
On the floor, you...
Shoot, did he see us?
Why are you breathing so loud?
Home ownership isn't easy, but with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, shopping for home insurance is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowe's.com/lowest price guarantee.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners looking to make it 2 in a row when they head out to the field tonight to take on the Nationals. Game 2 of that series. It'll be the second start of the season for George Kirby and his first start at home since September of last year. So looking forward to hopefully seeing a version of the old George Kirby. You can catch all the action of that one starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here. Seattle Sports on 710. Finals from today. White Sox take out the Mets 9-4. Guardians beat the Dodgers 7-4. It was the Tigers over the Giants 4-3. Red Sox fall to the Brewers in 10 innings, 6-5 the final. Twins shut out by the Rays 5-0. The Astros come back and beat the A's 5-3 the final in that one. Game's going on right now. Pirates are clobbering the Diamondbacks 10-0. The score in that one in the bottom of the 8th. Marlins out in front of the Padres 7-6 in the top of the 7th. And the Orioles and Cardinals are in the midst of a weather delay. That game yet to get underway.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Our thanks once again to Mark Schlereth, who joined us in the previous segment. In case you guys are just tuning in and missed Radio Gold with Mark Schlereth, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Just click the podcast tab, scroll down to our picture, click on that, and you'll be able to find it right there waiting for you. Meanwhile, the Mariners, great game last night, very complete game. You had offense, you had defense, you had pitching. They just nice, clean, crisp baseball. And a couple of things that stood out last night. Cal Raleigh, 2 home runs. He's got 19 on the season. He now trails just Shohei Ohtani for the major league lead. Ohtani's got 20 home runs already.
I know. I thought he was going to take the lead, and then I was like, oh, yeah, Ohtani, of course. He's just hitting them right and left.
But he leads the American League.
Yeah.
So with 19.
Which means Judge.
Yeah. So he's past Judge. So that was huge to see him do that. And the beauty was he did it back-to-back because Julio Rodriguez hit his 10th home run of the season. Cal came up right behind him, hit his first home run. Julio had 3 hits last night. What's interesting about him, he hit his 10th home run. He played 53 games. Through 53 games last year, he had 3.
Yeah.
He was off to a really slow start. So just comparing, he's having a great month of May, as is Cal. We talked about some of the guys that weren't having a great month of May. Dylan Moore was one of them. He goes 3 for 4 last night with a double. So that was great to see. Ben Williamson, 2 for 4 last night. Again, every hitter in the lineup had at least one hit except for Garver, Rosarina, and Tavares.
Yeah.
Even your guy, Donnie Barrels, had a hit and a walk. How about that? It was a big night for you.
I think Donnie Barrels is he's on the verge of something big here, Bob. He's on the verge.
He was a 3-game hit streak, I think, something like that.
Well, you look at the last 5 games, I think he's batting like over 400.
In the last 5 games.
5 games.
Hey, look, in a season that he's had, you take it.
Oh, yeah.
You
absolutely.
take it.
Well, and the other thing, too, is you look at, like all of a sudden it sneaks up on you. Dylan Moore has 8. He has 8 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, you look at like top 50 or 60 players, and you got Dylan Moore, and don't forget about Rowdy Tellez also has 8, and then you got Julio and Cal. So, yeah, I mean, I think, and Jorge Polanco as well with 10. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool when you see, because look, those are the guys that, you're supposed to count on. They invested in Julio. They invested in Cal. And, and then Polanco and Demo are all just, other pieces. But those are your 2 superstars, and they're delivering.
Yeah, it was really good to see. Really good to see. And by the way, Dylan Moore, I think his career high is like 12 or 13 home runs. So,
yeah,
barring injury, he should sail past that, I would think. I'll look it up just to be safe here. But I think, 12 home runs is his career high in 2021. So, he's on pace, Dylan Moore, to break that. But, just great to see the offense, and more importantly, great to hear the offense.
JP leads, pitch to Julio. Swing and a drive. Deep to left field. Wood going back, looking up. Goodbye, baseball. Julio parks it into the Mariner pen. Number 10 on the year, and just like that, the Mariners have a 2-0 lead over the Nationals here in the bottom of the first inning, and that was a laser off the bat of Julio Rodriguez.
It's so good to watch. I don't think, even when he gets like a strikeout or whatever, they're not nearly as frustrating as it was last year. It just seemed like the same formula for the pitchers. Jam him inside early and then get him chasing, and it was just, I don't know, whatever's going through his mind right now is really working, because and he got it fixed. And that's the thing, I can't remember who said this, but they were like, hey, look, this guy is a professional athlete. He is like solved every problem to get to where he is, and very highly sought after. He's gonna work through it. But there's lots of times where you're like, it feels like it's never gonna get fixed, but it eventually does. If you have a really good player like Julio, it's gonna get fixed. So watch, he'll go on a huge slump right now. But no, I mean, it's that part is kind of you can almost see the look on his face. He just looks a little bit more relaxed. He didn't look as tense when he's up at the plate, and he's delivering right now.
Well, he's having a great month. He's hit 6 home runs in the month of May. You compare the 2 months. In April, he hit 202 with a 297 on base, a 346 slug, a 643 OPS. Bad.
Yeah, and it was kind of
not good at all.
It looked a lot like parts of last year.
Oh yeah,
with him.
And now you look at May, 293. 330 on base, 511 slug, 841 OPS.
Yeah.
He's having a really good month. So that was great to see. And then, Cal Raleigh coming up right behind him, 2 home runs in this game.
Now the windup and the 0-2 on the way to Cal. Swing and a well-hit ball deep to left field line shot. Wood going back. Gone. Goodbye, baseball. Cal Raleigh with another home run. Holy smokes. Number 18 in the first, number 19 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And right now, he's the leader in the American League in home runs as he moves on by Aaron Judge. What a night for Cal Raleigh. Line drive into the Nationals bullpen and straight away left field.
Yeah, I heard Dave Valley kind of just changing the subject here. Ben Williamson, I mean, during spring, it was like, yeah, I mean, this kid's a great fielder, but can he hit? And I know that, they were talking about Kyle Seager and how much they miss him, and Dave Valley was talking about that. And, that was some power, at third base. And he doesn't really have that. I mean, 12 RBIs and 1 home run. His OPS is 577. But, yeah, if you said, hey, I'll take this guy, 245, I mean, it's working.
As a rookie, yeah, you'll take that.
Yeah. So,
but if just moving forward, you're going to need some production out of that spot. You can't. I mean, it's great to have a glove you can count on. He's going to make the plays, but you got to get some production out of that spot.
But we were thinking it was going to be Polanco, and it would have been nice if he had, because he does have power. But yeah, I mean, it just wasn't for him, and I don't know. He's just better at DH. But yeah, and obviously you'd like to see first base get worked out as well, so you don't have Solano over there, or
Solano's got 2 RBIs.
Yeah, he does. It's the one good thing about it is it's memorable when it happens.
That's right. Well, we had to research when the first one happened, and I think it was a sac fly in mid-April or something like that. So,
well, it's just
he's
weird.
showing some signs. I mean, it's been brutal. It's been brutal. He's hitting a $178 with a 218 on base right now, but past couple of games, he's come up with some base hits. So
that brought him, the last like 4 or 5 games, Bob, that brought him up to 178. It's been good. Yeah, I mean, you look at his batting average, and it's kind of hard to figure out as far as his career goes. But yeah, I mean, Williamson was kind of like, oh, well, I don't know about that, and maybe he'll get some power. But every time I see him now, when we did that interview, like, what were you thinking about? I think you asked him, what were you thinking about when you're up there?
I wasn't there when you guys talked to him.
Is that you, Lefko? Yeah. You asked him, what were you thinking when you're up there at your first at bat? He's like, I was crapping my pants.
It's always one of Dave's favorites.
It was just a very honest moment. I mean,
Dave said he brought up poop. I like him.
No, I mean, he's just he's being honest. He's a young guy, and I thought he did a great job in the interview because he looked like, this is one of maybe my first interviews. By the way, do you think Cal Raleigh is going to get worn out with all the media stuff he's doing right now?
He's a media darling now.
Yeah.
He's doing commercials. He's post-game interviews, and he was being interviewed last night after the game and talked about just always working to be a better hitter.
Yeah, I mean, I think you were always striving to be more of a complete hitter, and I mentioned that in the past, and a lot of that's just taking time, and but it's never a finished product. I mean, as soon as you think you got this game figured out, you don't. It'll come back and kick you in the butt. So I'm just trying to square the ball up as much as I can. All you can really control is hitting the ball hard, and the rest is kind of up to the baseball gods. So.
So mellow. But I mean,
up to the baseball gods.
Career-wise, I mean, he's off to his best start in terms of average and on base. He's hitting 258. His career average, even with that mixed in, is 222.
Yeah.
He's got a 372 on base. You look at his best years. I mean, his best year average-wise was in 23. He hit 232 with a 306 on base. Last year, 220 with a 312 on base. So far this year, 258, 372 on base, and his slug is way up, 603. His best year there has been 489.
Wow.
And his OPS is 975 right now. His best year there was 774.
Yeah, and I mean, cut down maybe a little bit on the strikeouts, but you don't care, right, if he's hitting bombs, and he's number 2 and number 1 in the American League, number 2 overall. You don't care about that, but to see the average come up as well, man, it's been good. Plus, you just get everything that you get from Cal behind the plate, with the young pitchers and just managing the game and just like having a coach on the field. So, yeah, it's really, really working out for him. And again, I just think it's really cool when you see. I'm really happy for the Mariners that it's working out for them, because this is, you invest in a guy, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But a lot of times, and like again, I've compared it to like Cam Chancellor, that once you invest in somebody, sometimes you get them, they improve and they become a better player because of that. It's one less thing they have to think about, and that's kind of what you're seeing with Cal. He's just settling in and feel like knows that he's going to be here for a long time.
Yeah, he's off to an amazing start this year. He's in that MVP conversation. We'll see how the true test will be second half of the season when the weather gets really warm and he's playing in different areas of the country that, you're going to be exposed to that heat as a catcher.
Yeah.
You wear down. I mean, that position just takes it out of you more than any other position on the team. So he's going through a different grind than Aaron Judge, right? Aaron Judge is playing outfield, which I'm not trying to diminish. He's a very good outfielder. He's just a brilliant player, Aaron Judge. But Cal is playing a much more physically demanding position.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality of it. Now, if their stats are similar, how much does that get taken into account from voters and things? I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's certainly helps that Aaron Judge plays in the biggest media market in the world and in the country, and in New York. He plays for the most storied franchise in baseball, and the Yankees. That goes a long way with some voters, I'm guessing. And if he's, there's so much baseball left to be played. But if we just say these guys are going to be about what they are now, if Aaron Judge is close to 400 in average, and he's going to have 40-plus bombs, maybe 50, it's going to be hard to take that away from him.
It really
it's
is.
just that's the reality of it. As I'm not rooting for it,
No,
but come on, man. If somebody's close to that number.
I think the other thing is that people, and especially people not in Seattle, don't appreciate what he does for the rotation and how important he is to these pitchers. And then, throwing a guy out on the base pass, just knowing the game, mound visits, all that stuff. I don't think that's as appreciated. The other thing is, it's not like football or anything, but he does have a big mask and a helmet on the entire time, when he's on defense and even when he's up to the plate. And it's like, you see Judge out there and, he's just like, he's so recognizable. And then you mentioned the media market as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be definitely in his advantage.
Yeah, a couple of things that were pointed out about Cal last night. Sarah Lang said Cal Raleigh has 19 home runs. That breaks a tie with 1955 Roy Campanella for the most by a primary position catcher in his team's first 53 games of a season.
Wow.
So there you start getting into more obscure stats in baseball. 54 games, maybe it's a different record. 55, we'll see. But through 53, and then already in 2025, Cal Raleigh is homered from both sides of the plate in a game, homered twice from the left side in the game, homered twice from the right side in a game. He's the first catcher in Major League history to do all three in the same year. So there's that.
Wow. Wasn't he the first player to hit home runs from both sides of the plate in Boston?
He might have been. I don't know.
I thought that.
Yes.
Was that last year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Or 3 years ago.
I thought he was, but I don't know. Maybe didn't his hero? Who's his hero again? The Boston catcher.
Yeah,
Varitek. Jason Varitek.
Yeah, Varitek might have done it. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, it's pretty amazing all the different stats, and he's just pretty much crushing everything. I wonder if he's even aware of all the things that he's doing.
Probably not unless somebody brings it up to him.
Yeah.
Somebody would probably mention it to him, but he doesn't seem that fixated on it. And then one other one from Tim Booth. 6 times in Mariners history, a player has hit 19 or more home runs in the first 53 games of the season, right? So Ken Griffey Jr., no surprise, he hit 24 in the first 53 games in 1997.
Wow.
Then he hit 22 in 1994. He hit 20 in 1999, so he's got the first 3. A-Rod hit 20 in 1998. Jay Buhner, 19 in 1996, and now Cal Raleigh, 19 in 2025. It's good company.
Really good company.
Very good company for him. So we'll see if he can keep it going. You're just, you start looking at it going, okay, they're going to have to get him some rest. They're going to have to get him a day off somewhere. But you're like, how do you take that out of the lineup? They need him. I mean, it's great that Julio's coming alive. He's having a great month of May. Again, they don't really have the depth to pull out somebody as productive as Cal or Julio. You have to. You got to, especially a catcher, you got to give the guy a break. And they're doing it by DHing him. But just in terms of just a day off, like put the bat away, put the gear away, you're watching.
Yeah.
Even when he's had that day, he gets called in to pinch hit later. And he's going to play 162 if you let him.
Yeah,
they need to protect him from himself at some point. So he's gonna need a break. Meanwhile, make sure to catch all the excitement on this Mariners homestand. First 10,000 fans tonight and Thursday receive a Randy Arozarena bobblehead. Don't miss the first fireworks night of the season with a special K-pop fireworks show on Friday night. For more info, you can go to mariners.com/tickets. Mariners have just optioned Logan Evans to AAA. Huh.
Yeah.
All right.
Went out strong. It's,
yeah.
Kind of surprising.
They just reinstated reliever Jackson Kowar, who they acquired in a trade with the Braves for Jared Kelenic. So he's been activated. So, all right. I'm guessing that, Hancock and Evans both knew and did know. All right. I'm just here until guys get healthy, and then that's how it's going to go.
That's how you reward me?
I don't think it's a surprise. I think they come in knowing exactly what the deal is. And look, you got guys with resumes that are coming back. You're not gonna as great as it was to see Logan Evans do what he did. What are you gonna do? Say, you know what, Logan Gilbert, have a seat.
Yeah.
You know what, Kirby, have a seat. Bryce Miller, yeah, you finished last year 31 starts, sub-3 ERA. Have a seat. You're not going to.
Yeah,
So,
I just the Cal home run is. The numbers and his average being up, all that is awesome. But, I mean, the biggest concern has been, the sort of weight that's hanging over everybody's head, as they are in their Mariner fandom going, how are we going to pay all of these pitchers? And, what can we get in return? And, who's going to fill in the rest of that rotation? Well, you're seeing a glimpse of that. And I know it's just one outing, but, man, I don't know, it's amazing how the Mariners have done such a great job with, again, devoting resources, the development, the health part of it, I think, is really big too. And then just being able to identify talent. But, that you hear from people around Major League Baseball that it's more about how they develop them and how they invest in them and how much training and everything that they put into keeping their pitchers healthy.
A couple of health updates from Justin Hollander, a pregame conversation from yesterday talking about Luke Raley, expecting him back in the next couple of weeks.
Luke Raley, he should be traveling to Seattle on Wednesday to ramp up the swinging part of the baseball activities. Would anticipate a rehab assignment the week of June 3rd. So Rails has done great, really positive about how he's feeling. It's a very tricky injury, so things could change depending on how he feels when he really starts swinging, but he has done great, checked every box along the way. Looking forward to seeing him on Wednesday. Anticipate a rehab assignment June 3rd. Don't know how long that rehab assignment will be. I would anticipate at least a week. It's just been a while, and he's got to build up to 9 innings and playing the field and running around. But would anticipate a rehab assignment starting on the 3rd.
All right, so that's good news. Amazing it's been that long.
Well, to me, having watched that injury, that looked so bad. And he's a big, tough dude.
Yeah.
And that just dropped him.
And then one more update from Hollander on Robles. Doesn't expect him back until the final month of the season.
I think July is to ramp up baseball activities, so I would anticipate September in terms of where Victor is at. He'll have been shut down for a long time at that point. He's going to need quite a bit of buildup and strengthening, so it will be a while before we see Victor.
That's kind of what it looked like, and I remember thinking when people were saying he was going to be back maybe at the All-Star break, I don't know, I just was like, it doesn't look like that to me. And then seeing him walking around with that big block under his arm, they didn't do surgery apparently, but yeah, that one looked really bad. And if he gets back in September, I mean, how long is it going to take him to get it back up to speed,
Well, I assume that'll be September, him coming out of his rehab assignments at AAA. And yeah, I don't know it's almost like it's like spring training and starting the season again.
Yeah.
I don't hold out a lot of expectation for him. Hopefully the Mariners, we're talking about a playoff run to which maybe he can find his rhythm in time for that. But in terms of significant contributions, the second he steps back on the field, I'm not going to hold him to that standard. But it's kind of a bummer. It's not a surprise, but yeah, it's just sort of a bummer that September looks like the target date sometime in September to get him back. And is it going to be enough to make a difference. If they're down a game, up a game, what's he going to contribute? So we'll see. Meanwhile, what do we need to see out of George Kirby tonight? His second start of the season. We'll get into that coming up next with Wyman and Bob. Seattle Sports on 710.
Home cooking. That's what I'm talking about. Some garlic fries, and of course, some Moto pizza out in the pen. Man, so good. The first place Mariners return home with a bang.
Cal Raleigh with another home run.
Tonight, they go for 2 straight in Game 2 against the Nationals. Wyman and Bob take you up to pregame at 5:30. First pitch at 6:40 on the home of the Mariners and the race for the AL West. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with 0 investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same, and that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Get 0% financing for 72 months on Cat compact construction equipment at NC Machinery. Built for performance, durability, and comfort. Buy now and take advantage of 0% financing for 72 months at NC Machinery.
When the hot water needs to be hot, when the drain needs to drain, when the toilet needs to flush, you need to do 2 things. Stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical. On call and there when you need them most. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
This is Jill Schlesinger. May is Military Appreciation Month, and I know how much I appreciate the military. I married into a military family. I hear from so many members of the military, and Navy Federal Credit Union wants us to celebrate those who go above and beyond for us every day. If you're active duty, a veteran, or part of a military family, you're eligible to join. At Navy Federal Credit Union, the members are the mission. Learn more at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning, life, and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hey, it's Ryan Nolan-Smith for Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. I dropped 30 pounds and honestly, I feel amazing and it has been so easy to keep off. But I didn't want to just lose weight. I wanted to be in the best shape of my life. Look, I'm in way better shape than what I was even when I was playing. I've lost all that visceral fat, which is super crucial long term, and now I'm sleeping better. I've got way more energy, and I'm actually maintaining the results. I'm not guessing anymore when it comes to diet. I finally understand my body. The meals are simple, I'm never hungry, and they fit into my lifestyle. And yeah, now that I've dropped the body fat, I can still enjoy an Aussie meat pie on the weekend, and I'm not stressed about it. After speaking with Dr. Coogan, it all made perfect sense. Yes, it was going to take some discipline, but trust me, the results were well worth it. So if you're ready to take control and feel like your best self, go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com and book a 15-minute consultation. It changed everything for me, and it can for you too.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We got George Kirby going tonight, game 2 of their series with the Washington Nationals. Again, you can catch it all starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here in Seattle Sports on 710. What do you expect from him tonight? Do we expect a decidedly different looking version of him? He got the first one out of the way, or do you still feel like, all right, it's going to be a few starts before we see George Kirby the way we know him?
Yeah, I would think one might be enough just because he's so competitive. And, you know, the outing you referenced, 3 2/3, gave up 5 earned runs.
Yeah, that was not good.
6 hits. It just wasn't him, man. He's probably most pissed at him walking one batter.
Mm-hmm.
But he had 4 strikeouts. But, man, I'm looking at his numbers from last year, and it's pretty incredible. I mean, quality starts, I think, did he lead the majors in quality starts? It was some ridiculous number, but yeah, it's just been he's automatic when he's on. So, you know, I don't know. I think maybe it'll take a little bit, but the last outing that he had in 2024, 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. So I mean that's
still
George
surprising
Kirby.
he had a walk.
Yeah. Exactly, because he has more outings than walks, right?
Oh yeah, decidedly more.
But yeah, I mean that's what JP was talking about the other day. Control is keeping it in the zone, but command is moving it around inside the zone, and that's kind of where he lives, right? And yeah, it's just always kind of a shock when he walks someone. But I don't know. What do you think? I mean, is it going to take just that one outing in Houston to knock the dust off and then be ready to go?
Yeah, I feel like, and I don't know where they're at in terms of pitch count. You know, what's the number? Where
what was it the other day? Was it
75?
I thought it was 70.
75 to 80 in his first start.
Yeah, that's where they were setting it. I think he left after 72 or something like that. So I don't know how much they're ramping it up. If they're going to set it at 85, I don't know. We'll find out what their limits are, and a lot of that again are their high stress innings, where he's got traffic on the base paths and things like that. That makes a big difference. So we'll see. But yeah, hopefully that command is there, that he's able to be George. He's able to be that guy that, the only reason he throws a ball is because he wanted to. He's trying to get somebody to chase.
Yeah.
That's a guy who can just sit there and hit the black, when he's right, anytime he wants. His command is just ridiculous. So, are we going to see that tonight? I'm not going to hold him to that yet. I expect to see better, certainly, than we saw in the first outing. I will be wildly disappointed if we don't. And this is not a great hitting team. You talked about where they rank. They're around the 20s in just about every offensive category. They're not a great hitting team. Doesn't mean they can. It's a pro team. They can go out there and do damage. If you're going to lay a big fat cookie over the middle of the plate, they're going to hit it out of the park. But it's a team that I feel like he's got a good chance to look good against, if you will. I think it sets up for that.
Well, and also he's at home, and you're not playing the Astros, who seem to have our number. So yeah, I mean, but it's not. I would say it's not necessarily a soft landing, but it's always good to be at home. And so yeah, I don't expect too much from him, but hopefully it's an incremental step up. So 3 2/3 in Houston. Hope that he can go 4 2/3, or maybe even 5.
Yeah, I'd like 5 or 6. Give me a quality start. If he can go 6 3,
that'd be fantastic. 5
and 3 is not a quality start, but at least you're keeping your team in the game. Hopefully the Mariners offense can pick up where they left off last night. But yeah, if he can give you 5 to 6 and limit the damage, keep them 2-3 runs, I'll take that. That's a nice step in the right direction, especially considering how things went in that first start. Meanwhile, just looking at this team, and you were touching on this before, and John Smoltz, who was on with Brock and Salk, talked about the Mariners and just how they develop pitchers better than just about anybody right now.
They're definitely an outlier. Nobody has the resources or wants to put in the resources to develop. They just want to find them on trees. They just want what comes out of a computer, what spits out of the analytics. That's what they want. They don't want to spend the time and the resources to develop, because you're not asking these kind of people who are making these decisions. They're not really baseball people. So I give Seattle credit. I give Tampa Bay a lot of credit. But the Rays, and they know it, they develop pitchers and resurface pitchers, but then they all get hurt. So Seattle's done a really good job developing pitchers, and really until this year hasn't had much of the misfortune of a lot of guys missing starts.
Yeah, I wonder, with Logan Gilbert, his injury, Bryce Miller, with other organizations, maybe they'd still be pitching. They might have just pitched through all of that stuff. There was something Logan said that kind of indicated that, it was it's pretty much the same feeling, when I throw my splitter as it was before. So it was, but they, he said he couldn't really tell the difference. So, in other words, they're extra cautious. And look, it sucks when you don't have those guys, but when you get an outing like last night with Logan Evans, it's just like a blessing, because
it makes you feel like no rush. Take your time.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Exactly.
Get healthy.
Well, and I'm sure these guys are and I think the reason why I think Logan Gilbert is a little bit more happy and everything, it's not like he's not pissed. He's a warrior. He wants to go out there, but he understands that you have to take care of your body because of, his whole story about going to
the Armory.
Yeah, the Armory. What school did he go to? Was it Central Florida, or was he Elon? Or
Stetson.
Stetson, that's right. Yeah, so, he was very conscientious about that and wanted to make sure he could pitch every time it was, his turn in the rotation, and he just couldn't do that. So, but, yeah, it's interesting to hear Smoltz say that because you would think that, he said most teams just go pick him off the trees.
That's what they want to do, yeah.
Yeah, and then, what are his stats, and just burn through those, and they just have a different approach. It's pretty awesome, and it just, last night was a great reminder of that.
We had Brian Rowland Smith on yesterday, and we were talking about Bryce Miller, who he himself was saying he was hoping to get back during this homestand, that, when his turn comes up, he wants to make that start. Ryan was making the case that, he might be good to get at least one rehab start before jumping back into the rotation.
With Bryce, take your time a little bit. You've got some options here where Bryce can, go pitch in AAA with umpires and guys who are hitting, guys who want to take your head off. Go compete a little bit before you get thrown right back into this rotation, because as much as I want Bryce Miller back, I want him back where he's not questioning anything he does.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, the Mariners know best. We've been just sitting here, throwing out bouquets about how adept they are at judging pitching and evaluating pitching and being careful with injuries. So if they feel like, all right, he doesn't need a rehab start, then I'll go with them on it. But when Ryan puts it that way, I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't mind if they send him down to AAA, get one under your belt, see how you feel, see how it goes, live action, not a bullpen, not a sim game, actual, guys up there trying to hit you, trying to hit what you're throwing out there. And maybe he doesn't need it. Maybe they all come to the same conclusion. He's fine. He doesn't need a rehab start. Let's throw him in there. But the idea of him making that rehab start sounds like it makes sense.
Yeah, that sure was interesting. And I don't know if it speaks to his toughness, Bryce Miller, but he kind of thought the whole thing was in his head, and he was kind of willing to pitch through whatever problems he had physically. And then all of a sudden they're like, no, we're shutting you down. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that, because if it clicks right away, and you don't have to worry about it if it's mental. But if it's something that's physical, then you got to take some time with it. Yeah, well, it sounds like it was physical that became kind of a mental thing, because that's what he kept saying is, hey, I just haven't felt good. I have not, those were his words. I haven't felt good at really any start this year. And things have been nagging, whether it was his back, his elbow. He got the cortisone shot, which apparently has made him feel decidedly better. So maybe that helps the mental, like, oh, I can throw free and easy. I'm not feeling that, whatever he was feeling, pain, tightness, whatever it was. He's not feeling that. So that goes a long way into mentally clearing that space, right? I feel good. I'm back to being me. So maybe it is a matter of hey, he just feels good. He's ready to go. Hey, a reminder, if you miss any part of our show, you just want to go watch things over again, whatever it is, you can check out our Wyman and Bob channel on the Seattle Sports YouTube page. You can also search for Seattle Sports on all social media platforms. Find our conversations, our interviews with Seahawks and Mariners players. All that stuff is there for you on all social media outlets. Meanwhile, the Mariners might not have unearthed one of their most valuable players if one thing had gone differently this season. We'll dive into a big what if coming up next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Brock and Salk
with our friend Jeff Passan.
I think that what we're seeing now is a version of how good the Mariners can be. The really exciting part is that George Kirby's coming back, and that Logan Gilbert's coming back, and that Bryce Miller's going to come back, and that all of a sudden, this team that looks like arguably the second best team in the American League is going to be adding 2 Cy Young caliber pitchers.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10 on Seattle Sports.
I'm Chris Davis, former King County prosecutor and founder of the Davis Law Group in Seattle. If you've been injured in a crash caused by impaired or drunk drivers, there are special considerations that need to be taken to protect your legal rights. Davis Law Group's team of investigators and lawyers know how to properly investigate DUI crashes and identify all parties who might be legally responsible for your injuries and damages. Call Davis Law Group at 206-888-8888 or get my free book at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
I've never had any complaints about my performance in the bedroom. But after turning 40, I noticed my libido just wasn't what it used to be. That's when I reached out to Revive Health. Their team knew exactly what I needed, which is why today, my wife and I are both more satisfied than ever.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, text BOOST to 65555 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to schedule your appointment. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help. Text stop to cancel. See privacy policy at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy policy. For info on how opt-in info will be used and terms and conditions at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of short code service.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty here. It's time to turn things up a notch. This summer, don't binge watch shows, binge s'mores by the campfire. Press pause on the podcast and press play on Warm Weather Vibes. Here's your chance to win $10,000 for your ultimate summer. What are you waiting for? Take a shot with 5-Hour Energy and make this summer your best summer ever. Visit 5HEShot.com for full details and rules to enter today. No purchase necessary. Ends June 30th, 2025.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Bundle Deal Days at AutoZone.
Well, I do need a bundle of things.
When you bundle, you save.
Do I save if I bundle oil with an oil filter?
Save up to $12 on that bundle.
What about brake pads and rotors?
Bundle those and the brake pads are free.
Can't save more than free.
You can save on hundreds of deals during Bundle Deal Days. Ends June 2nd at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Duralast brake pads only.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Summer is on everyone's mind, and many of us ladies, well, you men too, would like to get rid of that extra stubborn fat and address those areas of loose skin like around the waistline, chin, and upper arms. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without getting the results you were hoping for. Introducing ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. ProSculpt is minimally invasive, performed while you're fully awake, and it's gentle yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate and permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation, and for a limited time, get $250 off. Feel confident this summer with instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening that works for women and men too. ProSculpt.com.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
In 6/22/25, new customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
What? What? It's time for What If Wednesday.
Coach would have put me in fourth quarter. We'd have been state champions, no doubt.
Wyman and Bob rewrite the scripts of major moves and moments in sports every Wednesday afternoon. Now step into an alternative reality with Wyman and Bob.
It is What If Wednesday, which is presented by Mazda of Everett. Today's What if Logan Gilbert had not gotten hurt? Would we have seen Logan Evans this season? What do you think? What do you think, Dave Wyman? What say you?
Well, would he be the first guy up? Because
no, Hancock would.
Yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, maybe. Gilbert, you know, it was interesting. I was just thinking about Logan Gilbert and like his health and everything and how he's sort of built to last, right? I was just looking the other day. I'm like, look at it. Chris Sale. I'm like, that dude's still pitching in Major League Baseball. I mean, it's been going for...
You act like he's 45 years old.
Ever. 2010. So what is this, his 16th year? 15th year? 16th year?
I don't know.
So, I mean, I feel like
You'll land on it.
But, yeah, I mean, he just takes such good care of his body. I mean, I could see him pitching for 15, 16 years, Logan Gilbert. But, yeah, as far as... I think he's going to have a long career like Chris Sale just because he takes such a good care of himself. But, yeah, I mean, Logan Evans, based on what I saw last night, I mean, again, it's not like the Chicago White Sox or anything, but it's a team that was the bottom third as far as offensive numbers go, and but that was pretty impressive by Logan Evans. So I feel like if he has that potential to have that kind of an outing, then he's probably going to find his way into the lineup at some point.
Yeah, well, I mean, barring injury, I would say no, we wouldn't see him. I would say, if everybody's healthy from Luis on down to
and everybody pitches like they did last year.
Yeah, everybody's healthy. Yeah, you're not going to see Hancock either.
No,
but Hancock could be the first one you call up as they did. By the way, Chris Sale listed at 6'6", $180. Wow, that is a beanpole, man.
He really is.
36 years old, just turned 36. So
pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's a twig. But yeah, I mean he's
a whip. He turns his body into a whip.
That's right, and he'll kick your butt.
That's what. Yeah, somebody said. Somebody had said that Chris Sale would whoop me in a fight, because I remember being mad at him because he was kind of a punk. Remember when he cut up all the Chicago White Sox jerseys because he didn't like how they looked? He cut them up with scissors.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that story.
So they didn't have to wear them, and I'm like, you took it upon yourself to cut up other dudes' jerseys? But yeah, he is a twig. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying that that our guy Logan Gilbert is, but he's just so careful and does such a good job managing his body and everything that yeah, I mean, it's kind of who he reminds me of. But no, if those guys were all pitching like they did last year, I got to believe that you're not going to see anybody. And and it's I don't mind that we're getting a chance to see these guys. I mean, ultimately, I would love to have everybody never miss a start because their rotation. I mean, we talk about it all the time that there could be a week where all of a sudden it's like Bryce Miller should be the ace, or Brian Wu should be the ace. So it's such a great lineup, and you'd love to have them all intact. But it gives you a chance at least to get not only a great performance, but you got to win, and it didn't hurt you.
Yeah, it's look, well, at some point they're going to have to make decisions on these four guys, and I'm removing Luis Castillo because he's already been paid. He's older than the rest of them. But when it comes to Kirby, Gilbert, Miller, and Wu, they're all at different time. They're not on the exact same time schedule. Some guys are going to hit arbitration earlier. Some guys are going to be in line for a deal earlier. We'll see how proactive the Mariners are. We saw, with Cal, we saw it with Julio. They're getting way out in front of, all right, forget arbitration. Let's just get this done now. We'll see how aggressive they get. And more importantly, who do they get aggressive with? Is it going to be, I think it's clear. They're not signing all four. They're just not. It's not, they don't, it's not what they do financially. And if we play out the scenario that they're all healthy again and they're performing like they did last year, those are four big, giant paydays that the Mariners are not. I'm hoping for two. I'm hoping they take two. So you start looking at, all right, well, if you get rid of two, how do you, this has given us a glimpse. Yeah, you don't want to see guys get hurt, but the upside is we've had a chance to see Hancock again. You saw a lot of him last year, 12 starts, not a lot, but a fair amount to get a feel for who he is and what he does. And he's done it again this year for the most part. Quality starts, had the big blow up in game one and then just became Emerson Hancock again. Logan Evans is a guy we hadn't seen. But it gives you a little bit of comfort, or at least me, a little bit of comfort as a Mariners fan going, okay, I know they're not going to sign all four of those guys, which means they're probably going to try to trade two of them if that's how they see it. I don't see them letting them just walk, so they're going to get something in return.
Yeah.
And, how do they fill those shoes? Well, you got a little look at it. Doesn't mean Logan Evans ultimately is going to be good. He may be better. He may not be as good. We'll see. I mean, it's just such a limited resume right now, but it does give you a little bit of comfort seeing those guys do what they've been able to do in the limited amount of time they've been given.
I'd put this to you and to the texters, 866-979-3776. Who are your two?
That I'm keeping?
Yeah, I think I know.
Yeah.
Gilbert and Wu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said it before the season, and maybe it'll be true, maybe it won't. I think Wu's upside is really exciting. I think he's got the chance to be the best of the bunch. Now, his story is more about his durability and can he be available for an entire season. We haven't seen that yet. So, I don't know. Stuff-wise, though,
Easy cheese.
He's right there, and his command is right there with Kirby, almost to that point when they're both clicking. I mean, he doesn't walk people. It's just he's a special talent. It's just, can he be a guy that is going to be available every fifth day and is going to – I mean, everybody's going to deal with an injury at some point, but he's dealt with Tommy John before. I think – has he had it twice? Do you know?
That I'm not sure about.
I'm not sure if he's had it twice or not, but he's the guy who's gone through it.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at stats. Who are you
Brian
talking-
Wu.
Oh, Wu, yeah. And last year, I mean, he had a hamstring, right? So
yeah,
that
he started the season in May. He didn't start, the regular. So he's got to show I can be that guy. I can be counted upon to give you 32, 33 starts a year, whatever the number ends up being, and be durable, be out there to give you innings and make my starts. But assuming that with all those guys, they're going to be in line for giant paydays. So, yeah, it's obviously incumbent upon them to develop those young arms at the minor league level because, all right, we're going to have to part ways with two guys we really don't want to, but financially we're going to have to because we can't pay them. How do we fill those shoes? Well, we got these young guys ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Emerson Hancock and Logan Evans. So, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't all of a sudden look that painful. And I guess that was kind of my point is that when you start to – they're so good at developing players. I'm not saying that they're just going to do it whenever when they want to. But now all of a sudden, I mean, if those guys progress like they're planning, it doesn't hurt at all. If you have to ditch two of those guys, which – would be Kirby and Miller, which I don't know why you hate those guys, but
just general hate.
Yeah.
I want to keep all four of them.
Ship them off.
I want to keep all four of them. I'm just playing the reality game. Yeah. This organization is not going to pay all four of those guys.
No, they're
just not going to.
Well, and you also think what you can get in return.
Yeah, I mean it's the upside. You draft, develop, you trade. That's their philosophy. Well, they draft to develop, and then the trade part comes, and it could be painful. These guys may not be as good. Yeah. Maybe they're solid, but maybe they're not as the ceiling's not as high. We'll find out. But yeah, I'm certain these are conversations they've been having for a while because I think they just know, assuming all four of these guys continue on the path they've been on, we're not going to be able to pay them all. Coming up, Mariners just made a big decision with their pitching staff. We're going to weigh in on that. Coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Home cooking. That's what I'm talking about. Some garlic fries, of course, some Moto pizza out in the pen. Man, so good. The first place Mariners return home with a bang.
Cal Raleigh with another home run.
Tonight, they go for two straight in Game 2 against the Nationals. Wyman and Bob take you up to pregame at 5:30. First pitch at 6:40 on the home of the Mariners and the race for the AL West. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at Xfinity. Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Hey, Riverside Roofing is offering $1,000 off a new replacement right now. That's huge. $1,000 off. Quite the incentive for homeowners to book their roof replacement right now. It's Mike Salk here, and it really is a great time to do it. These days are getting long, right? Sunsets after 8 o'clock. Crews can get your roof done quick. So take advantage now before demand spikes this summer, making those repairs costly and time-consuming as well. Here's what you got to do to claim your $1,000 off from Riverside Roofing. Book a free estimate from the website, riversideroofingllc.com, and then you'll meet with Brandon, that's Don's son. Just tell him you heard the message here in the radio station. $1,000 back in your pocket, and yes, a brand new roof over your head. And while you're there, ask Brandon about their 35 35 years of local experience, GAF Master Elite certification, which puts them in the top 3% of roofers in the nation, and of course the catch-all system, which they use to keep your yard and driveway totally free of debris like nails or shingles. Go to riversideroofingllc.com. Remember, Riverside Roofing is the roofing company you can trust.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads, great for you, and so easy you could put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage, weird, but still a salad. 1 radish and a couple of green beans, also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke, odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Layoffs across federal agencies have left workers searching for next steps. One state has positioned itself as a top choice when attracting a talented workforce. Hillary Doe, Chief Growth Officer for the state of Michigan, has more.
Michigan has over 140,000 job openings in fields including semiconductors, cybersecurity, software development, nursing, teaching, and several types of engineering. With our First in the Nation programs, we're working hard to retain current residents and welcome new workers. Folks can upload their resume and discover new opportunities through the Michigan Career Portal.
More Americans are leaving Sunbelt states and moving to the Midwest, reversing migration trends.
Michigan offers a rare combination of diverse career opportunities, affordability, and great quality of life. We're surrounded by natural beauty with more freshwater shoreline than anywhere else in the country, and we're featuring all those elements in our campaign. As a result, over 40,000 individuals have expressed interest in living and working here, letting us know there's no better time to make it in Michigan.
To learn more about Michigan's fast-growing industries and job openings, visit themichiganlife.org.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive so you can stop worrying about them and invent new things to worry about, like snakes in your bedroom. Sure, that sounds incredibly irrational, but now that we've mentioned it, you are a little worried. The odds of one snake, let alone snakes plural, are so slim. But you might want to check. Oh, you're not near your bedroom. Guess you'll just have to sit there and worry about it. So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners coming off a tremendous performance last night as Logan Evans goes 8 innings, giving up just 1 run. So in honor of that, they sent him down to AAA today. And they brought back Jackson Kowar, reinstated from the 60-day injured list. So we'll see when he gets into a game. Meanwhile, they get to game number 2 tonight against the Nationals. George Kirby takes the hill for the 2nd time this season, first time at home since September of last year. So you can catch all of that coming up at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Finals from today: White Sox over the Mets 9-4. It was the Guardians beating the Dodgers 7-4. Giants fall to the Tigers 4-3. Took 10 innings, but the Brewers beat the Red Sox 6-5. Twins shut out by the Rays 5-0. Astros come back and beat the A's 5-3. Pirates hammer the Diamondbacks 10-1. Marlins get it done against the Padres 10-8, the final in that one. And then one other game going on right now, or it's still in a delay, I should say. In Baltimore, Cardinals and Orioles waiting to get things going. That game yet to get started.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. Coming up at 4:30, Daniel Kramer, Mariners beat writer for MLB.com, will be joining us at 4:30. John Morosi will join us for his weekly conversation coming up at 5 p.m., and then we will turn you over to the Mariners pregame show coming up at 5:30. Meanwhile, as I said there in the snapshot, the Mariners have made the move to send Logan Evans down to AAA. As much as I'm certain he knew what the deal was going to be, still going to be extremely high. He's sitting there just grinning, doing the post-game interview with Jen last night. He got water dumped on him by Dylan Moore, dumped the Gatorade bucket on him, and he's just celebrating just a gem of a game, and then head back down to Tacoma.
Yeah. Well, first of all, our girl Jen Mueller, she's got sweet feet there. I mean, she had a great back pedal out of that thing.
She sees it coming. She's got the advantage.
A couple times I've seen where she's surprised and did a little sidestep one time. I like her footwork, Bob.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's so bizarre because football is just so different. I mean, you're on the practice squad, but you're still at the facility and everything like that. And if you get put on the practice squad, but for this, it's just a totally different deal.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
you're playing in a different ballpark, wearing a different uniform with different guys.
Now, all of a sudden, you're eating like the Oakland A's and of old. And, yeah, and you're in these lesser ballparks and everything. And it's just very strange. And it just seems particularly cruel to me that he goes out there, Logan Evans does, and just throws a gem and has, like, maybe the greatest sports day of his life. Guess what? We're sending you back down to Tacoma.
Great job, kid. Enjoy it. Think about it. Think about what you did well on your bus ride down to Tacoma.
And enjoy that cheese sandwich.
Yeah, I'm guessing they get better than that. But, yeah, that's just...
Not the A's.
The A's. Who knows what's going on there? They're probably buying their meals. You know, who knows? But the idea of when obviously you got guys that are coming back from injury, you got young guys that are producing, you're going, all right, well, what about a six-man rotation? Justin Hollander was asked about that. Here's his response to that idea.
There's intrigue. I would say the unfortunate thing about the roster rules is you only get 26 spots and you only get 13 pitchers. And when you add a sixth starter, you take away a reliever. When you add a sixth starter, sometimes your starters pitch every 6 days. Sometimes they pitch every 8 or 9 days. Starting pitchers are fussy. They don't like that. They like to stay on a regular schedule. They like to know when they're pitching. So Jerry talked about this on the road trip. I would not anticipate a full six-man rotation. There may be times where we drop in a sixth starter, but I think we will stick with a five-man rotation, at least how we're headed right now.
You say starters are fussy?
Yeah, he sure did.
I think Kirby's back there going, you're not talking about me.
Yeah.
You're not talking about me. Brian Woo's going, who are you calling fussy?
That was pretty interesting. Yeah, I like to think that he was smiling there. But no, yeah. I mean, they're more, I would say, precise. I mean, for them, it's all about precision and staying, exactly in a ritual and everything, very ritualistic. And, I always talk about like all the little bugaboos that you have, like superstitious things. And I don't know, I think baseball lends itself more to that. But really, I think what it is just, learning over the years and how to take care of your body and have a certain spacing. And so, yeah, I thought that was interesting because, I mean, I think it is kind of, it's kind of attractive to have a six-man rotation because then, yeah, not everybody would be as tired. You'd get a little bit more rest and maybe it would help the bullpen out a little bit. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think from what we've heard, and we heard from Charlie Furbush and Ryan Roland Smith, who we talked to, that they'd much rather just keep it as it is.
Yeah, and it could be punitive to the bullpen, as Hollander pointed out, because if you're only allowed so many pitcher spots on your roster, so you're going to take away a reliever to have a starter, and they might go every 6 days, every 8 days, so there's no set pattern to it because of off days and the way the schedule lays out. So, yeah, you potentially hurt your bullpen in that scenario, but
What about, as far as Logan Evans, do you think he would be like a long reliever? Is that the
Yeah,
the
we
next
brought
step
that
for
up
him?
because we brought that up with who? Ryan Rollins. I think both guys, with Charlie and Ryan, and both of them seem to be like, nah, don't mess with it. Which I get what they're saying. The reason it was brought up, and I think it might have been Passan that brought it up in a previous conversation, but you get him in there, and is he a long relief guy or is he just a relief guy? He's going to come in for an inning, or is he going to be a 2 or 3 inning guy? What's his role? And then if you need him to start, well, he's not conditioned to go 5-6 innings anymore. He's going to have to be stretched out. So it's not as, I don't think it's as convenient as, all right, well, we'll throw him in the bullpen. He'll be a relief guy, whether it's an inning, 2 innings, 3. But if we need a start, he'll start. Well, he's not, you got to work up to that.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's as convenient as that is. But Passan was talking about it with Brock and Salk, talked about, why, in his opinion, a 6-man rotation could be taxing on the bullpen, but why he would explore it right now.
It can be a challenge, but that's what options are for. That's what having the train between Seattle and Tacoma is, right? It's knowing that there's somebody who literally can drive to your ballpark if you need another arm that day. And that option rules allow guys to go up and down as many times as you want, as long as they don't have 5 years of service. And so it's going to be a big train, I think, between Seattle and Tacoma, but that's okay. Like, they'll take that, right?
So he's making the case that here's why it could be realistic. Doesn't, just listening to Hollander, it doesn't sound like they're that interested. There's not a lot of motivation for it on their end. It doesn't sound like. But as far as, would it help with if you've got guys that are on pitch count? I don't know how they're going to treat Gilbert. I don't know how they're going to treat Miller. Are they going to be, hey, we're going to give them 70 out of the gate, 75 out of the gate, 60? I don't know what limitations they're going to put on those guys versus Kirby, who they had spring. They started the season. They had starts under the belt. Kirby, this is the beginning of the year for him. So it makes much more sense with him. I don't know what their limitations are with Miller and Gilbert when they come back.
Yeah, and it just seems like like I was saying earlier, the precision of how or fussiness, whatever you want to say, is very planned out, and and I think that's part of it. I mean, they've really done a good job. I mean, last year we were pretty lucky. I mean, was Kirby out for a little while last year, or? I know, Brian Wu started late, and then I think he missed a start or two, but they've done a really good job. So
I think they only had 7. Was it last year with 7 starters or the year before?
Yeah, last year.
Last
and
year.
Diaz only made one start.
One start.
I think someone just got sick.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Jonathan with a JH.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jonathan.
Incredibly fortunate, to say the least. So you had 7 guys you used, and one of them, as you pointed out, one time.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, you started the year without Wu, so it was unreal what the I don't want to call it luck, but there is some luck. I mean, look, you can go through as much conditioning and being as careful as you want to be. You got a guy up there throwing pitch after pitch at 90+ miles an hour. We always say it's not a matter of if, but when they get hurt. It's just so much torque on the shoulder and the elbow, and it's just, you see it. Nobody's immune from it. So It caught up to them this year. They've been incredibly fortunate the past couple of seasons with health in their rotation. This year it caught them. So we'll see. And Lefko's asking, was it the right decision to send Evans down? I think it was. They need that arm in the bullpen. They've got Kowar, who they acquired in that trade with the Braves. You got to see what he can do. You've got presumably your full complement of starters coming back, so there's not really a spot for Evans unless somebody, Miller goes out and, hey, I'm still not feeling good, I'm not feeling right, or same with Logan or anybody else. But barring that, you don't really have a spot for him.
Yeah. And I was talking about precision earlier, but it's just what these guys put their bodies through. It sure seems to, anyway, pay off the way that the Mariners handle theirs. And I don't know how, if there are other people that are complaining about how they manage their bullpen and, and then their starting rotation. But they really have done a good job. We haven't I mean, like I said, we've been very lucky as far as the injuries go. So yeah, I mean, they're managing it though. They're finding ways to get it done. So, we'll see what happens tonight with Kirby, but yeah, it's all been pretty easy to handle, because I just remember thinking when the 5 guys were going last year, going, man, this sure would be like, it was one of those jinx things where you didn't even want to talk about.
You don't have that much power, Dave.
Yeah,
you don't have it.
Oh, I do.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you just speak it into existence.
Well, you did jinx the Astros series, so.
What did I? Oh, I said they were going to end up being 9-1 on the road trip.
Yeah,
I did that. No question.
That was all
it
Wyman.
Was me and Altuve.
That's right.
Yeah.
You gave him some super strength he was missing. The luck went into he's like a leprechaun out there. So, yeah, it was the luck of the Irish going right into Altuve, thanks to you.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know if other teams handle it as well as they do, but they sure seem to do a good job. And, this has been fairly painless. I mean, there's a lot of times, I would have imagined if you would have said, hey, these guys are going to miss this much time the way our rotation has, I would have been, man, there's going to be some rough times. But, they've pieced it together and done a really good job.
One more from John Smoltz here, and he was asked, and this is something we've been talking about, that they've got these young guys. You're not going to be able to sign all 4 guys. So what do you do? They asked Smoltz, asked if he would consider trading top of the rotation talent if you're that good at developing young arms.
I mean, you bring up a good point, because this is where baseball's broke. The model's broke, and everyone knows it. So, yes, they're going to get rid of pitchers or burn them out and resurface the roster, because no one talks about this. The reason they don't talk about it is because they know they can't talk about it. They can't keep pitching healthy. They're asking them to do things that are impossible. So when you can't keep them healthy, you're not going to talk about the health anymore. You're just going to say, we know there's a short shelf life. We'll get other guys. There's more people coming. That's why rosters have such a turnover in this area, when it was the backbone of most of the clubs, a long time ago, and you could count on it.
It's kind of like running back.
Yeah.
It's sort of, it's kind of a conveyor belt.
You're disposable.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredibly, while being disposable or replaceable, I guess, it's an incredible luxury to have a dominant starter.
Mm.
And when you've got 2, 3, 4 of them, 5, the way the Mariners had, you just don't see it. But that the reality has always been health. It's not a new thing. I'm not sure what Smoltz is saying, that they don't want to talk about it. I'm not certain what it is he's referring to, other than looking at a pitcher and going, well, we know they're going to get hurt at some point. Their shelf life is not that of, I don't know, a second baseman who can play forever, or a first baseman who can play forever. It's so much wear and tear. It's like the catcher. It just requires, there's a different strain on the body to pitch and catch as compared to just being a first baseman, second baseman.
Yeah, you mean like Bliss and Raley?
Yeah, well, one gets hurt taking cuts at batting practice, and it's
so. I mean, the reason I bring that up, I mean, they've been kind of snake bit as far as
this season. Yeah,
I mean, and it's pretty amazing that they've done some of the things that they've done. So, yeah, but they seem to have a really good, and I don't know what it's more of an eye or it's just the way that they talk about the resources that they put into them, and that was what Smoltz was talking about earlier when we listened to him. But yeah, I mean, I guess other teams don't do that, and why wouldn't you? And the other thing is, remember their farm system was like 30th, and they were just at the bottom of the barrel for a long time, and they've really developed that up, and that a lot of that is because of the pitching.
Make sure to catch all the excitement on this Mariners homestand. First 10,000 fans tonight and Thursday will receive a Randy Arozarena bobblehead. And don't miss the first fireworks night of the season with a special K-pop fireworks show on Friday night. Matt, are you going to go to that with Brady? You two going to go take in some K-pop?
No.
Okay.
He's going to that?
I don't know.
Why? Oh, I mean, it's a great promotion. Everyone should go out. It'll be a fun night at the ballpark.
Yeah, way to sell it, Matt. You got people excited.
He's not listening.
I thought Brady's going to have his special gear on. He's fired up for it.
Brady's going to show up and he's going to go, Matt, I'm going to ride shotgun with you, and I've got lots to talk about. How about that?
That's always true.
Would it be harder to sit next to Brady for 9 innings or Lefko? in the stadium watching the game? Which would drive you more crazy?
Would it be worse to get shot or stabbed? I don't know, Bob. Neither seem fun.
Now let me ask Lefko that same question. You three kind of deserve each other in there.
I love that. Neither seem fun. Don't take that the wrong way, Lefko.
He can take it however he wants. I don't care.
I'm trying to figure out, Brady or Matt? Yeah, same thing.
I think you'd want to sit with Brady.
Lose.
I figure you'd sit with Brady.
Nah.
Does he get on your nerves?
No.
Why you wrinkling the nose with Brady then? I'm like,
because he's probably listening on the drive in right now.
That's right. He's coming in. He gets here really super early. Right?
He does. He'll go in there and he just likes to sit.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you and I are doing radio and I hear like this background noise and I look in there and they're like yelling, and then Matt has an annoyed look on his face.
I just can't help myself at a certain point, you know?
There's a lot of loud talk going on between him and Lefko. Yeah. All right. That's going on. You can get more info on K-Pop Night, all that stuff. Go to mariners.com/tickets. Meanwhile, if we assume that Robles is likely out at least the majority of the season, we played the cut from Hollander saying, baseball activities start ramping up in July with the idea that he could be back in September. I don't know if that's early, mid, late September, but I'm not expecting anything.
Me neither.
Lefko asking the question, do they need to call up some of their prospects who are close in order to boost the lineup until the trade deadline? I wouldn't bring up anybody they don't think is ready until they absolutely are in a pinch. And, you got the trade deadline coming up. It'll be here before you know it. So if they can get the rotation back in order, take some of the pressure off this lineup. Right now you've got your two biggest bats, the two guys you count on the most, rolling. And that's Julio and Cal. Those are the guys that you're paying. Those are the guys you're marketing. Those are the guys you expect to be carrying this offense, and they are right now. Yeah. Hopefully others will be able to kick in, and, JP can get it turned around, and Rosarena's been actually hitting pretty decently in the month of May. Hopefully you can build on that. But, yeah, I wouldn't be looking to bring up anybody unless they were like, hey, there's no reason for this kid to be in AAA. It's not helping him. He needs a different challenge.
It just seems like they do a really good job of not over bringing somebody up, too undercooked. It seems like it always works out for them. By the way, I was just going through looking at Victor Robles, his game log. He had an 8-game hitting streak going. I mean, he didn't have a super high average or anything, and had 3 RBIs, but man, that would be tough. And I just remember thinking at that point, like, this team, they're kind of in trouble, and Kirby was down at that point. I don't know if it was Logan throwing, yes, but I mean, it was like, this is a big loss. I just loved him as the leadoff, and he was just such a pest on the bases and everything, and they've really handled all of those transactions really well. As much as, people talk about Jerry and Justin in the offseason, and, they don't do enough with the offseason acquisitions and things like that. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think they're using the money that they get, but, as far as managing the pitching staff and the resources there we talked about, and then just bringing in guys that they took a chance on, like Robles, and it's been a fun year in that way, in that it's kind of been pieced together. It's kind of frustrating because you'd like to see, especially that 5 pitch rotation going and everybody healthy, but for the most part, it's created moments like last night with Logan Evans.
Yeah, I mean, they've had to rely on different people. Other players have had to step up you didn't expect. I didn't expect that month of April from Polanco. Not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close. He's had a massive turn the other direction in May. We'll see if he can find the middle ground somewhere. But
then, Cal and Julio pick him up,
Yeah, just be like, if you could just get 4 guys. Give me 4 guys who are rolling.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to get them all night. It just doesn't work that way. But hopefully you can get just a few more, and that would eliminate that pressing need to just getting back to Lefko's question. Do we bring up a young guy? Is he ready? Whose spot does he take? How do we get him in there? Are we putting him in there every day? I mean, it's just a lot to put on a young guy to expect him to come up here and, hey, he's going to impact the lineup. He's going to be a guy that helps carry. That's a lot to put on a guy, whether it's Cole Young, whether it's Locklear or any of these other guys. We saw Locklear come up here. He looked overwhelmed, man. He looked overmatched.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of swing and miss with him. I saw people when, we're talking about Solano and what they're doing at first base with Tellez and Solano. You're not getting a ton out of either. Obviously, Tellez has got some pop and he's had some timely home runs, but if we're just going overall, you're not getting a ton out of that spot. What do you bring Locklear up? Like, that's not a problem solver right there. He's not that guy yet. And maybe he never will be. Maybe he will be. We'll find out. But we saw it last year. I don't know that it serves him or the team to bring him up here and get his butt kicked again.
Yeah.
I don't know how much good comes of that. Meanwhile, we'll check in with MLB.com's Daniel Kramer about what he saw out of Logan Evans and the Mariners offense last night. He's going to join us next. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Home cooking. That's what I'm talking about. Some garlic fries, of course, some Moto pizza out in the pen. Man, so good. The first place Mariners return home with a bang.
Cal Raleigh with another home run.
Tonight, they go for 2 straight in Game 2 against the Nationals. Wyman and Bob take you up to pregame at 5:30. First pitch at 6:40 on the home of the Mariners and the race for the AL West. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at Xfinity. Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads. Great for you, and so easy you could put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage? Weird, but still a salad. 1 radish and a couple of green beans? Also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke? Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply. I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hi, this is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. Spring has sprung. Need color to brighten up your yard or privacy trees to keep your neighbors guessing? Now is the time to buy. With hundreds of trees arriving in the nursery daily, Big Trees has the perfect tree for you. Check out our updated inventory list online at bigtreesupply.com or come visit the nursery today.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Summer is on everyone's mind, and many of us ladies, well, you men too, would like to get rid of that extra stubborn fat and address those areas of loose skin like around the waistline, chin, and upper arms. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without getting the results you were hoping for. Introducing ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. ProSculpt is minimally invasive, performed while you're fully awake, and it's gentle yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate and permanent fat-reducing and skin tightening results, all in just one visit. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation, and for a limited time, get $250 off. Feel confident this summer with instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening that works for women and men too. ProSculpt.com.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Mariners and Nationals get back to it tonight after a very, very nice start to the homestand. 9-game homestand, 3-game series with the Nationals. So we'll see if they can duplicate it tonight with George Kirby on the hill, and a man who will be up there watching up close and personal. Does a great job covering the Mariners for MLB.com. Daniel Kramer is with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. How are you, man?
Hey, fellas, I'm doing well. You know, I was surprised to hear from you guys today since it's so nice out. I figured Lefko would be out on his paddleboard or pickleballing or something, you know, taking the day off. But
well, it's all he's focused on right now, so he's sort of here.
So it was a pleasant surprise to hear from you guys. I was like, absolutely, of course I'll hop on.
He kind of mailed in the show sheet, you know, and, yeah, he's kind of slacking. No question about it. But you know him, so that's not a surprise to you, Daniel.
Yeah, well, it is about to be Seattle summer, so
that's right.
It's hard to blame him.
Hey, you know, we were just talking about the injustice of it all, Daniel. Logan Evans with an absolute gem last night. I know Washington's not an offensive juggernaut, but for him to go out there and go 8 innings, giving up 1 run, and his efficiency, his pitch count was ridiculous going into those last couple of innings. And then you wake up today and he gets sent back down to AAA, and I understand why they did it. But, man, I just – to have that start and the next day get sent down, it's got to be, I mean, talk about a tale of 2 days, you know, where you're just couldn't be any higher and probably not feeling awesome today.
Pretty tough break, right? You know, especially after all the superlatives that you just listed off. But, you know, kind of building on that as well, I think it's something that we had kind of envisioned was probably going to happen here sooner than later, at the very least with Bryce Miller coming back from the injured list and with all indications being at some point this weekend. So you're already probably going to see Logan be optioned back down to Tacoma at some point on this homestand if all continue to go well with Bryce. But, yeah, the timing of it where it's coming off the heels of which you can make a very strong case was their best start by any starting pitcher this season, which is kind of saying something when, you know, who had that on their bingo card, that a rookie who wasn't really even vying for a spot on the rotation in spring training comes up and, you know, gives you eight innings. And, you know, like I said, probably their best start of the season so far. You know, that said, one thing that really stood out to me in talking with him was not today or yesterday, but after his outing in San Diego about a week and a half ago, just the candor that he spoke with about understanding his role with the team. You know, he even brought that point up. It wasn't like a pointed part of the question I was asking him, but just saying, you know, I realize like I'm probably not going to be here for the entire season. There could be ups and downs based on, you know, what the team needs at the time. And right now the team needs me to pitch in and, you know, help them win ball games. And I feel like I executed that. Again, this was a week and a half ago when we were down in San Diego, but I was just, you know, kind of taken aback at the maturity that he had in that specific moment. And I think it probably speaks to the mindset that he's carrying, you know, today as he's sent back with marching orders to, you know, continue to progress in his player development plan. And, you know, obviously he showed that he can get, you know, high quality outs here at the big league level and a really strong impression, you know, for a guy who didn't have the best spring training either. So I think, you know, Dan Wilson talked about it a little bit today too, is just, you know, building on the very strong foundation of coming up and getting the confidence that, you know, you can do it at this level. And, you know, for an organization that has had such a strong track record with pitching development, I mean, you see it all over the place. You know, he could be, you know, the next wave of talent, you know, among that group. So just kind of a logjam with where they're at with their arms. And I think the timing of it certainly kind of unfortunate given, you know, what he did last night. But I would also envision, you know, we'll probably see him back here at some point this season as well.
That's amazing to hear that about him because we had a chance to get him out to Edgar's, Logan Evans, that is. And, yeah, he just, you know, he's still kind of just a kid having fun. But to hear that, you know, the maturity, tell us, you know, you talked about them developing pitchers. Daniel, what stands out to you if you could pick one thing? I mean, it could be maturity, but obviously they have sort of a formula going. Or they're really, really lucky as far as developing pitchers, but I don't think that's it, man. I think it's just their process. What stands out as far as developing pitchers that the Mariners do?
I think a lot of it goes back to the personnel that they have scouting. These guys, you know, when you talk about the draft process, Logan Evans was a 12th round guy. Brian Wu was, you know, 6th round. Bryce Miller was 4th round. If you were redrafting the 21 draft or whatever year that they took Brian Wu, there's no way this guy is not going 1st round, let alone, you know, maybe top 10 overall. And I think that kind of goes back to what the organization has done so well in assembling people behind the scenes, you know, director of amateur scouting, Scott Hunter, Trent Blank, who's on the major league staff, has played a huge part in scouting pitching for all these draft classes. And, you know, he had a beat on Brian Wu before really anybody, you know, going as far to say it's like I would take this guy 1-1 in the draft before he had even, you know, met the guy or put actual eyes on him. So I think a lot of it ties back to their ability to really scout, you know, the next waves of talent. And then when they get them in here, getting them to buy into their culture and their philosophy. And, you know, I know it's kind of like beating a dead horse, but with the dominate the zone mantra and throwing strikes and getting ahead, you know, the simplicity of that, you know, plays a lot of, you know, a big factor in helping these guys absorb, you know, that type of messaging. And, you know, then once you get here, if you are a Logan Evans and you do kind of take on that philosophy and you begin to implement it in how you go about your business, there's a track record here of established guys who have had success doing it. You know, talent plays obviously a huge part in it for sure, but, you know, getting, you know, once you get into the organization and you continue to kind of cultivate that player development plan that they talk about, you know, building off of what you look around and see the successes that other guys have had, I think that plays a big part in it too. So it's a whole smorgasbord of things, but I really think a lot of it goes back to their drafting process for sure.
Yeah. Daniel, how would you handle the return of Miller and Gilbert? I know Miller, just in hearing him talk, it sounds like his expectation, and maybe it is the team's as well, that there's not going to be a rehab start, that he'll just go right back into the rotation. Sounds like he expects it'll be in this homestand. We'll find out. But Would you want to see a rehab start for him?
I was kind of curious that they weren't going to do that. But I guess all things considered, if he's feeling good, he's been out for 2 weeks now, 2 weeks and change. So he already had kind of that buildup, even though he wasn't getting as deep into games as, maybe some of the other starters were, just because he was having, various hiccups, which I think we can all correlate a big part of that being related to the spur in his pitching elbow. But, if he's ready and they're feeling confident about it and, they have an opportunity for him to go out and pitch this weekend, it sounds like that's the plan that they're going to go with. So, with him in particular, it's a little bit different than Logan Gilbert, who's by all indications going to pitch tomorrow at Tacoma. It's going to be one of at least 2 rehab outings. Granted, he was dealing with a little bit more of a significant, injury, and on top of that, has been out for over a month now, so needing to get stretched back out. So, if all goes well with him, you're probably looking at, the next road trip, the back half of it, maybe in that Arizona series for Logan Gilbert if all goes well with him. But, the fact that we're talking about Logan Evans here and that they had to send him back down, and they're pretty adamant about not going to a 6-man rotation, which I wrote about yesterday for MLB.com after a conversation with Jerry DiPoto in Houston. Yeah. You're going to have a decision on Emerson Hancock here soon too, and where to go with him, and how you kind of allocate your rotation from there. So, that said, they're going to be approaching a really long stretch of the season where they won't be afforded the gluttony of off days that they've had so far. Leading into the All-Star break, they're going to be playing 23 out of 24 days. That's not on the immediate horizon, but it is out there. And then coming out of the break too. So I wouldn't be surprised, especially given that their 3 most valuable starters from last season were dealing with stuff, throughout the early part of this season. If, maybe they drop in a 6th starter or a spot guy here and there before we get to the All-Star break. I think that's more of how you'll see the composition of a 6-man rotation play out.
Daniel Kramer, Mariners beat writer for MLB.com, has been our guest here. Daniel, as always, great stuff. We appreciate you, my friend, and more importantly, we're glad Lefko was able to find you before he found his way to the pickleball court. So that's good news.
Yeah. All right. My pleasure as always, guys. See you guys later.
There you go. If you guys didn't catch all of that conversation with Daniel, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, one of the Mariners' top prospects picked up an interesting side pursuit while he was injured. We're going to hear about that when we sweep the dial. That's coming up with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Home cooking. That's what I'm talking about. Some garlic fries, of course, some Moto pizza out in the pen. Man, so good. The first place Mariners return home with a bang.
Cal Raleigh with another home run.
Tonight, they go for 2 straight in Game 2 against the Nationals. Wyman and Bob take you up to pregame at 5:30. First pitch at 6:40 on the home of the Mariners and the race for the AL West. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman here from my friends at Harley Exteriors. They're a local company serving all of Western Washington for the past 23 years. And I'm really excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my kind of people. I had Ray, Chris, and Nick out to my house just to see what they could do for us because we've been in the same house for 24 years. And virtually every window in our home has a broken seal. So Harley Exteriors has an exclusive, high-quality Euro vinyl Olympic Series window, and it's manufactured right here in Washington. And these windows are designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. And it's a window you can trust for the life to last the life of your home. And it's very affordable with options like 0 payments, 0 interest, up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And now through just the end of the month here, the end of May, buy 3 windows and get 1 free. Harley Exteriors, they're big fans of the station. They listen all the time. They're excited to work with our listeners. And I'm proud to be working with Ray, Chris, and Nick at Harley Harley Exteriors. It's a team you can get behind. So go get in touch with Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more. They're right here in the Puget Sound. Give them a call at 833-HARLEY. That's 833-HARLEY, or you can just go to harleyexteriors.com.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
And 6/22/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and great news. This August, luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Yes, the hotel is finally opening. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience at snocasino.com. Breathtaking views of the Cascades in Snoqualmie Valley, an expanded non-smoking gaming floor, awesome destination spa, a 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yes, new food venues, restaurants as well. You can book at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest. It's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Discover one of the new inventions in home comfort with mini split systems from Home Comfort Alliance. Enjoy efficient heating and cooling, saving energy and reducing utility bills. Call now for a free consultation and get 18 months, same as cash financing. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
I've always been an athletic guy, but after turning 40, I noticed I was slowing down. I booked a free testosterone check with Revive Health and learned that low T doesn't just impact my performance in the bedroom. I've been following a custom treatment plan ever since, and today I'm feeling stronger and more confident than ever.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, text BOOST to 65555 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to schedule your appointment. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help. Text stop to cancel. See privacy policy at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy policy. For info on how opt-in info will be used and terms and conditions at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of short code service.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Friends of Waterfront Park is announcing the Meet Me at Waterfront Park 5K on May 31st. Kick off a season of celebrations leading up to the grand opening of Waterfront Park with this all-abilities race. Experience Seattle's reimagined waterfront and be a part of history with this first ever 5K at Waterfront Park. Presented by Brooks Running, Seattle's new Waterfront Park is being built for you. Come and enjoy it. 5K registration and full schedule of events at waterfrontparkseattle.org. Brought to you by Friends of Waterfront Park.
Right now, get a $15 gift card after rebate with the purchase of select AC Pro refrigerant products at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at amazonbusiness.com.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
So I caught up with Johnny Farmello yesterday for the Mariners Clubhouse Insider, played on the pregame show, and just wanted to hear about how he recovered and rehab from his ACL injury. Didn't know I was going to learn that he picked up an entirely new side hobby while he was rehabbing.
I learned that I just really love competing. I love playing baseball, but what I really love is just competing and winning, and there's many ways to do that. You know, you can do that in everyday life and kind of how you are as a person. I traded the stock market every day when I was in rehab, and that kind of kept me going, you know, because I was competing, and so I kind of got that perspective, and that's definitely helped me kind of coming back on the field. You know, days where the swing doesn't feel good or whatever, you just got to get back to competing and trying to win.
Yeah, if I were him, I would change that. I was trading stocks while in rehab. But we'll talk about this tomorrow. But yeah, he's a day trader. It sounds like that he gets on and he looks at all these metrics and things like that, and the market movement and stuff like that. It's gambling. That's what he's doing.
Of course it is.
He was gambling.
You're betting on a stock. It goes up. It goes down. Now it seems like not a great time. It's pretty volatile these days. So
yeah, but you can buy puts. So if it goes down, you make money. And,
buy what?
Puts, a put. It's on the downside. So, if a stock's at 35, you can buy a put for, $28 or something like that, or no, $7. And then, if it goes down underneath that, then you make money. I mean, there's ways to make money on each side. But a lot of the guys that do the day trading are technical day traders, so they're not even looking at the companies. They're just looking at the movement of the stock and
at the trends with each.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I was just like listening to him going, that's not necessarily a good thing. But hey, if it's keeping him, well, number one is
maybe he's doing penny stocks.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
that's
he's doing something.
I was saying, okay, if you have $1 million and you're maybe putting 30 at risk, for the whole time, then okay, that's fine. But let's not get too carried away. Those people are experts there.
Sweeping the dial.
We know a handful of NFL teams really would hate to be on Hard Knocks. I think we can agree. The Seahawks would be one of them. It sounds like Sean McDermott is kind of embracing it because he was asked how the Bills feel about being on Hard Knocks.
To some extent, it's I think a real compliment to them choosing us and selecting our organization. Now that the criteria has changed, you look at it, one of two ways, and it's probably a little bit of both. Where you say the opportunity is there for us to number one, our fans, that they can get an inside look, a little bit of what happens. Is it 100% inside? Maybe not. What percent it is? Is it 10%, 20, 50? Who knows? But there's a lot that we do that they'll see, which I think is great for the fans. I think there's also just as much that people won't see, and that's true of anyone's process, right? Any great athletes or team's process. There's a lot that goes on that people don't see.
No, I want to see it all.
Yeah,
want to see it all. I think it's cool. We've talked about it a million times. They crush that show.
They really do.
They make any team, regardless of how little you know about them or the roster or how much you care about them, they make them interesting. You get caught up into the storylines of this kid trying to just make the team, and you see him on the phone with his family and just talking about the grind, and and they highlight their plays in preseason games, and this was good, this was bad, and
then
you
hear guys talking about charcuterie boards,
charcuterie boards, yeah. I mean, it's such a good show, and I can't think of any season I've walked away from going, that sucked. No, they're all interesting.
No, they are. And I thought maybe one of the best ones was the Jets when Aaron Rodgers came there. I thought that was a really good one. That was the charcuterie thing.
The charcuterie board.
But yeah, I mean, they do a great job with it. And sounds like Sean McDermott is embracing it because, you can't refuse to accept the situation.
Well, and are the Seahawks against it, or was it Pete that didn't want it? Do you feel like that's changed if the NFL went to them now and said, hey, we have you guys scheduled? Would John
I don't
kick and scream?
I don't think anybody really wants it. I just think, like, for a head coach, like for Mike McDonald, I mean, especially last year, I mean, you
first
can't
year head
have
coach.
first year, but I don't know, even in your second year, you're just trying to get, it's just more time you have to spend that's not dedicated to your football team. So
are they doing anything out of the ordinary, though? There's just
the coaches?
Cameras. Yeah, I mean, they're going about their schedule and doing what they do.
Probably worry about distractions and things like that. And then, a lot of times, I mean, they film the team meetings. So you're restricted on what you can and can't say, probably. I mean, you don't want to.
Or they just trust that they're going to edit out, any sensitive information. I don't know. I'd love to see the Seahawks do it. I would love it.
Sweeping the dial.
So Terry Bradshaw was doing an interview on a radio station in Arkansas, and he was asked about the potential of Aaron Rodgers being the Steelers quarterback.
What do you think about possibly Aaron Rodgers being the quarterback? That's a joke. He shouldn't. That is just, to me, is a joke. But what are you going to do? Bring him in for 1 year? Are you kidding me? I mean,
that's not the Steelers' way, right?
No, man. That guy needs to stay in California and go, somewhere and chew on bark and whisper to the gods out there.
100%.
Love those accents. That's not the Steelers' way, right? 100%. That's what I'm saying.
That was good. Hey, that was, didn't you say something about John Elway? The same way. Oh, he's out there in California, the California surfer. Maybe he should just stay out there and surf.
Yeah,
and, he was.
I like that you say he should go.
Kind of crap.
He should go eat some tree bark and what do you say? Get in touch with the gods.
Whisper to the gods.
Whisper to the gods.
I think Terry Bradshaw's the point. I don't think he annoys many people because he's really over the top, and he's a pretty nice guy. He goes around and does all these performances. Have you seen the musical ones that he'll actually sing?
I know I actually saw him do a motivational speech before I ever got into this business.
Really?
Yeah, it was good too. He was funny, self-deprecating. It was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, these days I haven't seen him perform. I know he did music like back when he was a player. I think he was playing music.
Yeah.
Or shortly thereafter, maybe.
Yeah, and I think there's a football life on him, and it's interesting. He's an interesting guy, no question. Yeah. But yeah, I remember watching John Elway when I was there in '93. Him and Terry Bradshaw. Bradshaw was doing a game, and he had ripped Elway 7-8 years prior to that, and with that whole thing about the California guy and he should just go play baseball, whatever. And I remember seeing them standing out on the field talking, and it was basically Terry Bradshaw apologizing.
Mea culpa there.
Yeah, to John Elway, and it was kind of interesting to see that happen. But I don't know, he's one of those guys. I think most people like him, but the guys that work with him love him.
Yeah, he's a funny dude, and he's obviously a Steeler great, so they're going to ask him about the Steelers, and that's not the Steelers' way, right?
The Steelers. What were you motivated by him?
No, he was just entertaining. But it was good. He did well. I was pleasantly surprised by it. All right, a rain out gives us a chance to catch up with our guy John Morosi a day earlier this week. So he's going to join us next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Home cooking. That's what I'm talking about. Some garlic fries, of course, some Moto pizza out in the pen. Man, so good. The first place Mariners return home with a bang.
Cal Raleigh with another home run.
Tonight, they go for 2 straight in Game 2 against the Nationals. Wyman and Bob take you up to pregame at 5:30. First pitch at 6:40 on the home of the Mariners and the race for the AL West. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
So I formed Davis Law Group about 30 years ago, and I would get, the same questions from people about what to do in the case of an accident. Do you need a lawyer? To the point where I decided that I would at least write a book which would answer the common questions that I would receive as a lawyer. Once I wrote my first book, it proved to be hugely popular. I decided to write then a series of books in different accident cases so that we could really teach people about their rights, how to protect them, and how to decide on whether they need a lawyer and what lawyer to hire. I've found in my career that having a client that is educated and knowledgeable about their particular type of case really helps the client and also usually ends up making the case or the claim more successful. To get your free copy of any of my Washington accident books, visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-961-5544. 800-961-5544.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners getting back to it tonight after a big win in Game 1 of their 3-game series with the Nationals. First game of a 9-game homestand. So Game 2 coming up tonight. They send George Kirby to the hill, his second start of the season. We'll see if he gets better results than the first time out. Actually, his first home game since September of last year. So we'll all find out together beginning at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Some finals from earlier in the day. White Sox over the Mets 9-4. Dodgers fall to the Guardians 7-4. It was the Tigers over the Giants 4-3. Took 10 innings, but the Brewers got it done against the Red Sox 6-5. Twins shut out by the Rays 5-0. Astros come from behind and win. They beat the A's 5-3. Pirates hammer the D-backs 10-1. It was 10-8. The final Marlins over the Padres. And they finally got things going in Baltimore. Weather is let up. Orioles out to a 3-0 lead over the Cardinals in the top of the fourth. Headed to the bottom of the second. No score between the Reds and the Royals.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
I've never heard a person walk out of a stadium and say, wow, I wish that game would have included more waiting.
He is an endless source of baseball and hockey knowledge.
José Berríos, el lanzador de Puerto Rico en el Clásico Mundial de Béisbol.
Sean Morosi, every week with Wyman and Bob.
You're being serious with me right now?
This is one time we like that there's a rain delay because it made this guy available for us today. You know him, you love him. The one, the only, John Morosi is with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. How are you, man?
Good evening, my friends. I'm doing great. And yes, this day, as it turns out, is quite full of waiting for me. I am in the beautiful city of Philadelphia. I'm in a warm and dry place right now in the midst of the rain all going on around me. But yes, there will be waiting for us and our MLB Network team until tomorrow's game. We were supposed to play tonight. We're going to play tomorrow. And I will say this, it is worth the wait. We will have on the network tomorrow night Chris Sale and Zach Wheeler. That, my friends, is a good pitching matchup.
That's good stuff. By the way, as you were sitting there waiting, were you going, you know, I think that Wyman's got a point. I really enjoyed this waiting. There needs to be more of it.
Yeah, I said actually for the first of many times, I said an excellent point by Wyman. Waiting is great. Waiting is wonderful, and we now have an even better matchup tomorrow night than I thought we were going to have. So thanks, Dave, for that very sage advice that you have shared with us.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I just tell just go opposite. Go opposite of whatever I say, and that's probably what's going to happen. And the length of the game.
It makes for good radio.
Yeah.
There's been an entire industry based on that exact premise for the last 30 years in American media. There you go.
I love it. Just more waiting is always better. Hey, we saw the Mariners get back to their winning ways last night. An amazing effort out of Logan Evans. The rookie pitcher goes 8 innings, 1 run, 4 strikeouts. He was so efficient with his pitch. His pitch count, he could have gone out there for the 9th. They elected not to, and then they send him down to AAA today. So
right.
that's how the baseball gods worked with him. But this Mariner team is, we're trying to figure out what's going to be happening as we approach the trade deadline. Are they going to be in need of bats? Is the rotation going to be back to its normal self, if you will? Everybody healthy and functioning? And is this an offense you look at and go, all right, if everybody gets clicking, which you're not going to get 1 through 9, but you get 4 or 5 of those guys clicking, then they just need a little minor tweak, maybe not a superstar bat, but a decent bat? Or do you look at it and say, no, this is a team that still doesn't have depth, offensively speaking, and is going to need a substantial bat?
I think in this case, so for me, the lineup is still the spot where I would focus on the most. I think that with what Evans has done, and I realize that the somewhat unique situation of having him sent out to the minor leagues right after making a start like that is pretty unique, right? It's just probably a roster management situation more than anything else. But I think in general, this team has shown they've got plenty of pitching. They always do. The second half of the lineup, for me, is what's going to be the difference between them having a good team, good chance at a postseason berth, and a team that can win a round. That's what I want to see out of this team at the deadline, not just getting there. Of course, they've already been there, done that a few years ago. It's those difference-making bats that will allow them, I think, to take the next steps. And the thing I liked about the way that last night's game unfolded is you saw the three big bats at the top, JP, Julio, and Cal, they all showed up. And if you can do that, if your big guys can do damage, and then you get that complementary production later on in the lineup. I'll give you one name to think about as Baltimore continues to struggle, a Ryan O'Hearn type of a player. He's a guy that is on an expiring contract. Adding in maybe one more bat to that later part of the lineup, I think is where they should probably focus their time. You could always add another reliever, and typically relievers are very plentiful and available at the later part of July. But what we've seen so far, how close Gilbert is to coming back, and certainly on some level we should reserve our judgment on Kirby before we see him pitch again tonight. But I've seen enough signs so far that the rotation should be in good shape, and you can focus your attention on offense, which I think is still the greatest overall need for the organization.
All right, JP, I know it's early for this, but we're just kind of excited here because Cal Raleigh, by the way, he's becoming like a media darling. He's on every show. He's probably going to get tired of that, but 19 home runs. Is there any way that if he's like right around where Aaron Judge is, that, all of the people appreciate how he manages the rotation and, patrols the bases, the whole thing. I mean, it's just like he's a coach on the field. Any chance he beats out Aaron Judge for AL MVP?
He'll get some votes. I think he'll get some votes on ballots. Now, does that mean he'll finish first? Hard to say. But I'll say this. We have not seen many catchers in the American League in recent years put up numbers like what Cal Raleigh is doing. It's been a position where certainly we tend to see more offense at other spots, and his production and what he means for the staff, and we've talked about it before, how difficult of a staff this is to catch. He is, and we've talked about this before, one of the most valuable players in the American League. Now the question is, can you actually win the award? It's a hard award to get away from Aaron Judge because Judge's numbers continue to be just absolutely extraordinary. Aaron Judge is having right now, last I checked, an even better year, better production than he had when he set the record at 62 homers. So he is on another planet. I think with Raleigh, the argument becomes a little bit different. And actually, as someone that's voted for the MVP before, I would look quite favorably upon his argument if, of course, the Mariners win the division, if he continues to have this level of production, because his impact is not just on the offensive side on the home runs. The defensive value to this team is something truly extraordinary. So I would, right now, if I had to vote for the top player in the American League right now, he's comfortably in my top 5 right now. And he is the kind of guy, and what I would stress to all the voters, and again, I've been one before, is that the catching position is the one spot where you really cannot just go on wins above replacement, what the numbers say. You really have to watch this guy's team play and understand how important he is to properly fill out your ballot. And I just hope that everybody really takes a look at the context in which Raleigh is putting up these extraordinary numbers.
JP, who's the biggest threat to the Mariners in this division? We just saw them lose 3 of 4 to the Astros. Astros just took the mini 2-game series from the A's, so they seem to be rolling despite how much difference there is in their roster without Tucker, without Bregman. Alvarez is hurt. They're losing Blanco to elbow surgery, yet kind of like the Mariners, they're finding ways to overcome their injuries. And now I'm seeing that, the Rangers have reinstated Corey Seager at shortstop. I don't know. Their offense is a mess. Maybe he goes a long way into helping it. I thought at the beginning of the year the Rangers were going to be the team everybody was excited about and was going to return to form after last year. But how do you see it playing out?
Houston. Houston is the team to worry about until someone proves otherwise, for me, because you're right. There have been some changes to the lineup. But if you look at the numbers, for example, of Isaac Paredes over at third base, he has been excellent for them so far this year. Pena batting leadoff has really found closer to his form when he was a World Series MVP. Altuve getting more reps in left field seems to be a good spot for him. Walker hasn't quite clicked yet this year, but I just still look at this team and their foundation. There was a good start for McCullers today. Hunter Brown's going to be an all-star. Looking around the depth of this roster, I just trust them more than I trust everybody else. The A's they could go either direction for me. If you were to tell me they're going to have a great second half with all this young talent, I'd believe it. If you were going to tell me that they're going to come back down to earth as their players wear down, I would believe that too. I just trust a little bit more of what the Astros have, even though the core has changed a lot. And remember, they're going to get Alvarez back at some point. So I just think that for a variety of reasons, the Astros are still the team that is lurking and a concern now for the Seattle Mariners.
JP, the A's and Tampa Bay playing in temporary digs right now. As far as what's been like the worst story? I'm trying to. Is it Kotze, the manager for the A's? Yeah. So he gets tossed the other day, and they're making a big deal because he had to walk all the way around the through the field and everything. But other than that, I mean, how has it been going at those stadiums, and as far as attendance and convenience and all that good stuff?
Right. Well, it's not ideal, and I think that we need to be honest about that. This is not the way that the plans looked for Major League Baseball in 2025, that you'd have two teams playing in minor league facilities. It was not supposed to be this way. One is obviously because of a natural disaster, and then one is because of the situation with the A's having a somewhat itinerant existence until they get to Vegas. And I was told recently Vegas is going to happen. There's the people at the league are completely convinced that it's going to happen, and it's just a matter of how complicated and how inconvenient the next few years are going to be for the Athletics. You're right. Some were calling it just the walk that the Kotze had to make. I agree. That was a little bit strange and maybe sort of typified what a bizarre circumstance they find themselves in. I think part of the issue with Sacramento, we haven't even gotten a full picture of yet, because it has to do with the weather in the summer. And that's also true to an extent in Florida outdoors, that we may have more postponements than you'd usually expect. They've already had to adjust the schedule such that the Rays are home more in the first third and perhaps the last month of the season to avoid the really hot, rainy months in the middle of the summer. So it hasn't been perfect. I'm sure that the complaints will increase. And there'll be legitimate complaints about what the situation is and the competitive dynamics of this. And ultimately, I give Mark Kotze, and talking about him getting thrown out of the game, I give him a lot of credit for the way he's managed his team. Last year was hard because it was their last year in Oakland. This year you've got a group of a lot of young players trying to break them into the big leagues. Wilson has played phenomenally well for them at shortstop. He's probably going to be an all-star. But you're trying to bring along this core in a minor league facility. That's hard to do. And I think overall, they're 10 games under, but they've been a competitive team more often than they haven't. And so suboptimal in every way. And I'm just hoping that we get to a spot where Tampa gets a stadium, either in Tampa Bay or maybe Orlando, and then Oakland gets settled into Vegas. And then we can talk about what we're supposed to talk about, which is getting this league to 32 teams, because I just think that there's enough talent around the world to support a 32-team major league, and we need to get there, I think, as an industry.
Hey, back to the Orioles for a minute. You brought up Ryan O'Hearn being a possibility at the trade deadline. By the way, he's killing it for the Orioles. He's in the midst of a career year. He's never come close to these numbers. His career high is 15 home runs. He's got 9 right now, hitting .340 with a .428 on base. So he's definitely picking the right time to get hot, contractually speaking. But he's going to be 32 in July. I'm not sure what he's going to command out there. But how eager do you think the Orioles are going to be to part with any of their talent? Certainly, he's not one of their young guys, obviously, like Jackson Holliday or Gunnar Henderson or Rutschman. But what do you think? Do you see them tearing this apart to an extent, or do they look at this as an aberration and know this is going to be the team that they were last year?
It's a great question. I think that just from knowing Mike Elias for a long time, I don't think he's going to make a dramatic course correction right now. Clearly, his thesis when last season ended, or even last year at the trade deadline, and certainly going into this year, was that their young core position players was going to show the way for this team, that they were going to rely on this group. And so far, that has proven to be a miscalculation, at least right now. Rutschman has disappointed this year. Hauser and Westberg have missed a lot of time. Mountcastle has had a disappointing year. Mullins has been solid, maybe not quite as good as he was early. He's batting 7th tonight, so he's kind of lost his spot near the top of the lineup. They just don't have the level of performance that you would expect right now. It's the reason why Brandon Hyde's no longer their manager. They changed managers, brought in Tony Mansolino. It's a team that I still think there is a good core there, but it might not be as great as what they thought it was. And the players they have to move now, I think whether it's O'Hearn on a rental, Tomoyuki Sugano on a rental, they're good players, but they're not going to bring back franchise-changing pieces, in my opinion, to where they need to – I'm sure Michael Elias will say to ownership, listen, this is a bad year with health and performance. We're not going to be this bad in 2026. He does, however, need to really address the pitching side of things. And I think their ownership group, you can't lose Corbin Burns and other guys. John Means is another guy that was a mainstay, no longer there. He was injured a bit, but still the point remains they've lost players either to injury or free agency and not replace them. And you cannot, when you've got a good core, you cannot just try the marginal, well, maybe this guy can give us some solid innings. Kyle Gibson's a perfect example of that. These are half measures that were not good enough in the American League East. And so I don't see any way they get back in the race this year. It's too good of a division. I know it's not what it usually is, but you're not going to be able to reel off 12 wins in 14 games without a good pitching staff. And so having not gone after Skubal aggressively enough last year, the time to be aggressive was actually last year when they had Burns. And now they don't. And now they're going to be doing the other opposite direction, which is gauging the interest from the Mariners and others on O'Hearn and Tomoyuki Sugano as well.
Hey, JP, the Mariners have handled it pretty well, but I feel like we're snake bit a little bit with the injuries, because you got Kirby, Miller, Robles, Raley, Bliss, but is that pretty much standard? I mean, that's how everybody feels, right? You get a couple of guys that are down, oh man, we're so unlucky, but where do the Mariners rank, like as far as health goes and being able to get through the first part of this schedule without getting hurt? How bad is it here in Seattle? Is it right up there, or?
I'll say this: it's not as bad as the Dodgers, who I counted earlier today. They've had 13 pitchers already start games this year for them. 13.
Wow.
Already, and we're not even at the end of May. Unbelievable. I think that with the Mariners, the thought I had as you were asking the question was, you think about how many times either Jerry Dipoto or Justin Hollander or Dan Wilson were asked during the offseason, hey, what's been the key to you guys keeping your pitching so healthy over the last couple of years? They'd probably just say, I don't want to talk about that right now, because as soon as you open your mouth and say, well, we've done a great job keeping our guys healthy, then we give you the 2025 Seattle Mariners, this is much more normal. And again, this is why when you've got healthy pitching, you need to go for it, because it can be very fleeting. Looking at the Dodgers and their issues, that it's profound what they're going through. The thing about Seattle that I like is that as much as, yes, there are some pitching issues there, and certainly we'll get another big data point today with Kirby, Evans has come up and looks like he's going to be a guy, and hopefully he's back soon, because he deserves to be a major leaguer. He deserves to be one. The other piece is, for the most part, this group has shown in the major leagues that they can pitch on every fifth day. And that is something that right now the Dodgers are really trying to work on a lot, which is an issue of their guys being able to pitch on regular rest. When you've got this amazing stuff and you're throwing the ball harder than generations of pitchers have ever thrown the ball before, extra rest is helpful. But if everybody needs extra rest, your roster starts to have a 7-man rotation and everything looks unbalanced. And that's what the Dodgers are dealing with. But the fact to me that if the Mariners feel good enough about their pitching depth that they can option someone like Evans to the minor leagues, that tells me that they're comfortable with where Castillo is at. They're feeling comfortable with where their overall depth is, with Wu, with the steps he's taken. So I think that in general, Seattle is better off than most, even though they still have some guys who are on the IL.
John, you're the man. Enjoy the waiting. Soak it all up. Savor it.
I wish this life included more waiting, my friend. And as Tom Petty once sang, waiting is the hardest part. In this case,
nice.
Worth it. It allowed me to join your conversation one night early. And by the way, full credit to Mike Lefko, one of the great producers in sports media, for finding a way to make it fit, for having me join the show one day early. So credit to Mike and credit to Bob and Dave. You guys are awesome company every week, and I really appreciate everything.
Oh, you're too kind.
JP.
You're too kind. And when I say that, I'm talking about too kind to Lefko. So we appreciate
I love
that.
you guys too.
We appreciate it, John. We'll talk next week.
All the best. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much.
There you go. John Morosi, everybody with us each and every week. Always a great conversation with him, and he's soaking up the waiting. He's just waiting for that pitching matchup tomorrow. Chris Sale and Wheeler. That's going to be a good one. So
I just can't picture JP in a bad mood.
I don't think it's happened. I don't think it's ever happened in his life. He's never been cranky.
No.
He's never been out of sorts. All right. Our thanks to John Morosi. If you guys didn't catch all of that, you can find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. The Mariners are hosting the Nationals tonight, and the T-Mobile Park roof will most certainly be open. It's beautiful outside. It's warm outside. That's the Mariners Roof Report, brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. So what's your call for tonight? Are you gonna go reverse jinx because you've got that power?
I think they're going to win. I'll make a prediction. This is a bold one. Randy Arozarena is going to get plunked.
He's already been hit 10 times, I think.
I think he leads Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
he's got big old elbow guards and everything, so he'll be fine.
What about Kirby?
That's my prediction.
What's your prediction for Kirby?
Kirby, I'm going to say quality start.
Quality start. So
Six
at least 6 innings and 3 runs or less.
Yep.
That'd be great. That'd be huge.
I would take a little bit under that. Maybe 1 earned run and 6 innings.
Yeah, you would. That's awfully gracious of you. You just 1, no
Just
walks.
1. Yeah, no
5
walks.
strikeouts. Give me 6. I'll take 3. That's fine.
Yeah.
I think I don't know.
No walks.
We might be surprised. We might be surprised when we come in tomorrow by how good he was. All right.
So.
That's going to do it for us. I want to thank our guest today, Mark Schlereth, who was fantastic, Daniel Kramer, John Morosi, all fantastic. So if you missed any of it, head to the podcast page at seattlesports.com. You got the Mariners and Nationals game 2 coming your way. We're going to talk to you tomorrow right here with Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
Home cooking. That's what I'm talking about. Some garlic fries, and of course, some Moto pizza out in the pen. Man, so good. The first place Mariners return home with a bang.
Cal Raleigh with another home run.
Tonight, they go for 2 straight in Game 2 against the Nationals. Wyman and Bob take you up to pregame at 5:30. First pitch at 6:40 on the home of the Mariners and the race for the AL West. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Riverside Roofing is offering $1,000 off a new replacement right now. That's huge. $1,000 off. Quite the incentive for homeowners to book their roof replacement right now. It's Mike Salk here, and it really is a great time to do it. These days are getting long, right? Sunsets after 8 o'clock. Crews can get your roof done quick. So take advantage now before demand spikes this summer, making those repairs costly and time-consuming as well. Here's what you got to do to claim your $1,000 off from Riverside Roofing. Book a free estimate from the website, riversideroofingllc.com, and then you'll meet with Brandon, that's Don's son. Just tell him you heard the message here on the radio station. $1,000 back in your pocket, and yes, a brand new roof over your head. And while you're there, ask Brandon about their 35 years of local experience, GAF Master Elite certification, which puts them in the top 3% of roofers in the nation, and of course the catch-all system, which they use to keep your yard and driveway totally free of debris like nails or shingles. Go to riversideroofingllc.com. Remember, Riverside Roofing is the roofing company you can trust.
I've always been a super athletic guy, but after I turned 40, I noticed I was slowing down. Instead of hitting the gym after work, I spent my evenings on the couch with a bag of chips. I was gaining weight, losing muscle, and when I did try to work out, I ran out of energy right away. One of my buddies suggested I book a free testosterone check at Revive Health, and that's when I learned that low T doesn't just impact how guys perform in the bedroom. I worked with a provider to create my custom treatment plan, and today I'm feeling stronger than ever. Last week, I even set a new PR at the gym. My only regret is not reaching out sooner.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com or call 206-529-1111. Again, that's 206-529-1111.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, two-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA Club World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Feeling lucky? Don't miss the Lucky Classic Collector Car Truck and Boat Auction, Saturday, May 31st at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Event Center. Hundreds of cars, vintage, muscle, exotic, classics, trucks, boats, and more. Saturday, May 31st at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Event Center. Millions of dollars in inventory, many must sell with no reserve whatsoever. Get lucky, get local, and get in line for the Northwest's greatest collector car auction. Auction details at luckyoldcar.com.
This is Seattle